Well, hello there, all you wild, weird, wonderful, wacky nut jobs out there live in YouTube land. I hope you're all keeping well. It's a beautiful day here in County Clare. The sun is splitting the trees. So, yeah, I hope you're all having a fantastic day or evening or morning, wherever the hell you are on this blue rock. So, I think we'll just give it a few minutes for people to come in. I keep forgetting to schedule lives to let people know when I'm going live, but I never really know when I have the time, so I just kind of hop on when I can. Um, yeah, so we give it a few minutes, won't we, Maya? We give it a few minutes. Oh, she's a good girl. Oh, she's a good girl. So just going to give it a few minutes for people to come in and say hello. So yes, we will be talking about serial killers. Do you know? I think I'm going to go off Ed Gein. I wanted to talk about him and maybe the psychology that surrounds him and all the crimes that he committed. Well, he murdered two people, maybe three, but the rest, the bodies of the rest of them, they were all dug up. But this Netflix thing, I have to say, I can't watch the rest of it. I think it's absolute crap. I'm just going to wait for a few more minutes for people to come in so I can ramble on then. I hope everybody's keeping well. The other thing I wanted to ask, do we do angel tree shopping here in Ireland or the UK? Does anybody know? Because I mean, there's nothing but people in the States doing angel tree shopping. I haven't seen anything like that over here. I don't know whether it's here, whether we go to the St. Vincent de Paul and find out, or do you just donate toys? That's one thing I'd like to know. It's got to be really rough as a kid growing up and in certain circumstances and not having a Christmas. So, if there is such a thing as angel tree shopping or angel tree things in Ireland or the UK, please let me know. I'll definitely go and donate something to it. Mhm. Monday all day. It absolutely is. So, hello to anybody who's watching or listening or whatever. I'm just going to give it a couple of more minutes because I forgot to tell people I was going live because I'm brilliant. Yeah, I do wonder though. I know a lot of them on YouTube are just doing it for clout and whatever, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter why they're doing it. The kids are going to get the toys, and that's what's important at the end of the day. But yeah, I would love to. Obviously, I'm not interested in posting it, but if there is such a thing as angel trees in Ireland, I'd love to do it. But again, I'm not going to post it. What's the point? That's all you're seeing now, really, on YouTube. I don't know about TikTok because I don't use it, but that's all I'm seeing on my For You thing on YouTube. It's just all these people doing angel tree shopping, and people are going, oh, yeah, they're only doing it for clout. So what? It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. These kids are getting their toys. And to be fair, they're buying a hell of a lot more than what's asked for on the card. And people are giving out to them, oh, you're doing it for clout and this, that, and the other. Yeah, okay, maybe they are, but at the end of the day, those kids are getting those toys and they're going to wake up and they're going to have a great Christmas and it's something that they will remember. So, whatever the reasons, I'm just glad that these kids are getting looked after wherever they are. But yeah, if there was such a thing as angel trees in Ireland, I'd definitely do it. I think it's a great idea, actually. But yeah, actually, I must look into it over here. I know the St. Vincent de Paul do stuff with kids and families and all that kind of thing. Yeah, I must check it out. I think it's a great idea, the angel tree thing. Yeah, we should maybe start doing it over here. I think it's a fantastic idea. I know in our like local supermarkets, it's like Super Value and things like that. I know they had like shopping trolleys outside, well, not outside, but like, when you come in and you go in then to the double doors and there was trolleys there and like you could buy toys and put them in. Hey, Roberta, how you doing, darling? Um, I was just wondering, Roberta. I don't know if you're in the UK or Ireland, but I was just wondering, do the UK this like the supermarkets or the the big sort of shops, do they do angel tree things over there in the UK? I've never seen them in Ireland, but I do really think it's a great idea. You know, as I said, that's all I seem to be seeing on YouTube at the moment is all these posts for angel trees, angel trees. And I actually enjoy watching them. I do enjoy watching them, and I know people are giving out to them, going, "Oh, you're only doing it for clout and this, that, and the other." But as I was saying, I really don't care the reasons why they're doing it, because at the end of the day, these kids are getting really well looked after, and I have to give it to them. Like some of them are really going full out, like for these kids, and you haven't seen any? Yeah, no, me either. I think it must be just an American thing. I know over here, St. Vincent de Paul do a hell of a lot for the kids, and families that are struggling, or maybe they're living in certain kinds of accommodation or whatever, for whatever reason. But yeah, I wouldn't. I always donate every year to the the trolleys. I'd buy a couple of toys and put it in, and Um, and I always do the socks and the toothpaste and toothbrushes, and just little bits and pieces. I know the kids in school, they do the shoebox thing, but I was just wondering if there's anything else outside the schools that we could donate to. I would love to. I always donate something every year to whatever charity happens to be looking after the kids. So yeah, I like to do that. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it's something that could catch on over here, or even in the UK. I think it would be a great idea. Were you watching Salties live yesterday? I came in late, so I missed it. I did go over it. So there's more happening with the AD case, which is good. But again, we're not going to see anything now until the new year. So we may as well just hold up and wait. But I did forget about the Yorkshire tea ad. Oh my god, I nearly died laughing when I saw it. I thought, oh my god, I haven't seen that in years, and it was a bit creepy. I thought the funniest part was when she said they didn't want their tea bags to be sexualized. Fucking sexualized tea bags. I do that in my local shop. It has been. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we have that here as well. But they do trolleys, like they'd have loads of trolleys and things like that, and they wheel them back in, to empty them, they bring them back out. But yeah, I do that as well. But I do really like the idea of the angel tree, because you get the name of a child, their age, and what they want or what they'd love. And, you just go and look after that child, put it all in the bag and with the tag and hand it back. And then that child is going to have the great, a lovely little Christmas. How you doing, Cassius? How you doing, lovey? Um, yeah, I was just saying, Cassius, do you have it in Scotland? Because it's all I'm seeing lately on YouTube. You know, um, all these videos for angel trees. Like you go into your supermarket and there's a Christmas tree there, and they have all these labels on it. And you take a label. Oh, you're at the beginning. No bother. Well, put her on to speed it up. You're not missing anything, Cassius. Honestly, I've been just rabbiting on here now about angel trees. But I was just wondering, in Scotland, do they have them? I suppose they don't, if the UK doesn't have them and we don't have them. But it might be an idea to start up, the supermarkets. It probably will catch on, because anything that the UK or the USA do, I think the UK and Ireland tend to follow afterwards, don't we? But yeah, it's a great idea, and I like the fact that you can just concentrate. If you want to just concentrate on one child, you can, or else, hey, YouTube lady, how you doing? If you want to just concentrate on one kid, you can, and you can go all out for that kid. Or else you can pick a couple of kids and just get what's on their list. But I mean, some people are really going overboard for these kids, and and I'm delighted for them. I really are, because you don't know what circumstances these kids are in. I was watching one girl. She's lovely. She's such a kind heart. The things that she makes and does, and yeah, she's lovely. I can't think of her name. I think, is it Celine or Selena, or I can't think of her name, but she's got a heart of gold. She really has. Hey, Pain Like Bane, how are you doing? Well done. You're fine. That Monday. Yes, all day. It's Monday all day today. But yeah, I was just saying, I was watching Genetic Code and Salty. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I couldn't stop laughing. AD's ad, the Yorkshire tea. Jesus Christ! And I just thought, how in the name of God does anybody sexualize a tea bag? I was in stitch. Proud of me. Oh, thank you, Pain Like Bane. You're an absolute dote, as we'd say in Ireland. You're a dote. But yeah, so what has everybody been up to over the weekend? Does everybody have a nice weekend? I had a busy weekend. It was lovely though. I had my lads here with me all weekend and they just gone back. So it's very odd when they go back because the house is so quiet. Mind you, I did have a massive clean up to do because, they come home and it's like they're teenagers again. There's bits of them all over the place. So I'm like a, a hen. I'm going around picking up bits and bits. I would love to have seen the letter he got from the company. Oh my God, Roberta, I would have died laughing had I seen that. I actually would have. Yorkshire tea is vile enough to drink. Never mind anything else. I don't drink tea. I don't like it. I'll drink herbal tea, all right, but I'm not a black tea drinker. I never have been. Coffee would be something I would go for over tea. But yeah, I do like herbal tea. Mm, there's this. Okay. I'm not sure about angel trees. Yeah, I know. I think it's a fantastic idea. I really do. I mean, you're buying toys and you're buying bits and pieces and you don't even know if any of the kids want these things. I'm not black tea or coffee man. Ah, okay, yeah, yeah. And a lot of people don't like tea and coffee. Yeah, I'm always sort of like a cold coffee drinker type of thing. Yeah, in the winter I don't mind the odd coffee, but I would prefer like iced coffees and things like that. But yeah, do you know, I'm going to talk about this now because I found my new obsession. I went to the shop earlier on and I bought this. It's like a can. It is a can, but it's plastic. But the only thing that remains of the can is the top and the bottom, and it's clear you can see through it. And it's a flavored water, but it's mine was melon flavor, and I shit you not, I could have sworn I had just had a big bite of melon in my mouth. It is delicious. I couldn't believe it. The first sip, I was like, hang on a minute. I had another one. I was like, oh my God, like that blew me away. I couldn't believe it was so nice. So yeah, that is my new obsession. Iced coffee is yeah. Oh, you like iced coffee too? Yeah, me too. I love iced coffees. I like caramel. I do a bit of caramel in my iced coffee. Yorkshire tea was hilarious. I was sure he'd think it was goofy funny to look back on. Oh yeah, it is funny to look back on things. We've all come through the trenches with this AD shit. And yeah, I really don't care who wins in the end now at this stage. It'd be just nice to see it over. I don't really care who wins now. It's just it's been a long long haul, a long road. Yeah, so I was going to continue on about Ed Gein, but I was watching I was trying to watch, I should say, I was trying to watch the Netflix thing, Monsters. I'm sure we do have the angel trees. That's us. I have a wee eye open for that. Yeah, I think it's an American thing again, Cass. I know like your local charities or whatever, you can probably do something there, but I love the idea of the angel tree again because you can concentrate on the one child. You can go all out, like big time all out on the one kid, or else you can, do a couple of kids and just get them whatever, the couple of things that they want. But I like the idea of going all out for one little kid. Um, One in the chat if you like melons. I do like melons actually. Dirty bugger. Um, what was yeah? Anyway, back to Ed Gein. I wanted to talk about him. I really did, but I really can't. I can't enjoy this Netflix thing. It's just, and I understand where they were going with it. I get where they were going with it. They wanted to show people what it was kind of like in his head. The schizophrenia and things like that. And I got it, and it was coming across, but I wanted factual. You know, um, yeah, I wanted factual things. And it irritates me. And yes, of course, people are allowed to take creative license with whatever they're producing, but it just wasn't what I was hoping for, put it that way. It really wasn't what I was hoping for. Was it worth the hype? Monsters? No. But, that's just me. I like the factual kind of things. I like, if I'm going to watch something on somebody, I want the facts. I want, exactly what happened, who said what, where, when, all of that kind of crap. From the police reports and maybe people who were there, witnesses firsthand, all of that kind of stuff. And this is anything but that. It's a story, basically. It's more of a story or a series based on him. And yeah, I haven't really gotten around to watching even the last one or the last, yeah, two of them, because I know Salty was saying they're worth watching. And I might actually do that today, but I just can't make myself watch anymore. It was just so crap. Shit, what was that? Shit, the third time lucky, huh? There's plenty of factual docs. Yeah, there is. There's tons of them on YouTube, and I've watched, I'd say, probably all of them. It's just, I always like to see something new. Maybe somebody's come up with a different angle on it, but still keeping to the facts, whatever. And it is, I suppose. No, it's not. No, I can't make excuses for it. It's not factual. It's not factual in any way, shape, or form. But they did take their own creative license with it, and they've done it whatever way they wanted to, and and it's fine. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like that kind of thing, but yeah, if you're like myself, I like the facts, and I can't be doing with, you're watching him one minute and then all of a sudden you're in his head and he's at the bar and the bar is full, but there's nobody there really. It's just, and the exaggerated storyline with his girlfriend and all of that kind of thing, because that didn't happen. I think she went on one date with him, if even, and that was it. I mean, they weren't close buddies or friends like that at all, but she spoke to him a few times. But the way they made her out in this, I think, was very unfair. Yeah, so I kind of didn't like that, but however, that's the way they went, and yeah, not my kind of thing. He was a nice family man kind of guy, just misunderstood. Yeah, he was a lovely family guy. Good, you're all caught up. Yeah, so back to the psychology of this guy. I think I think basically if he had been around today, I think he would have been a candidate for transitioning into a woman, because I think that's really what he wanted to do. Um, but at the same, he was a very confused man. I think he wanted to be a woman, but yeah, he still fancied women, so he would have been a gay woman had he have transitioned. And I do find those things kind of a bit difficult to get my head around, but I think that's where he would have gone if he was alive today. He was absolutely a mama's boy. He really was. And he was completely infatuated with her as well. And I think things went a lot further with him and his mother than he made out. They slept in the same bed. So yeah, I think things went a lot further sexually with his mother than was ever spoken about. We can be good. What's it? Call before you go out. For some reason, I don't get notifications for you. Oh, don't worry about it. Again, if I like today, I can just think lousy head. Yeah, yeah, I know. If he was alive today, I think it would have been. I don't know. I think we would have had a better understanding of what was going on in his head, maybe. Um, because I think these people are very important to try and study, so maybe we can understand or stop these things from happening again, or maybe they'll recognize something in themselves and think, okay, I'm going down a bad road here. I need to go and get help. But I just like catching your lives. Ah, thanks, Cass. Thanks a million, darling. You know me, just rabbiting on, rabbiting on. But yeah, it's like Ted Bundy. Yes, of course, he was a rotten, rotten, rotten man, and he was cruel. He was horrible. All of those things. But I would have loved him to. I don't think he should have been put to death that quick. I think that they should have studied him a bit more. I think there was a lot that we could have learned from Bundy. I really do. That man just fascinates me to the end. Like, the whole psychology around him just blows my mind, you know. I mean, thinking that he worked for the likes of the Samaritans. Can you imagine? Oh my God, you ring up the Samaritans, you get fucking Ed Bundy. Jesus Christ. And he did do that. He done that for quite a while, you know. But also, like, he was arrested, he escaped, and they got him, and then he escaped again, and he was on the run, like, the window he jumped out of, like, just insanity, like, you know. But he was terrified of dying. He was terrified of dying, and I think he tried everything to kind of, you know, stay that. But no, there was no such hope for him. But I think it's a shame, because I do think we could have learned things from him. You know, obviously the man couldn't tell the truth. He went back and forward on different things, but very creative, artistic type. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think John Wayne Gacy, he was the artistic type, wasn't he? He used to paint. He used to paint quite a lot, I think, in prison. He's another guy that he's another guy that, yeah, I mean, what a rotten to the core man. If you ever want to watch a really good movie about John Wayne Gacy, there's a movie called To Catch a Killer, and it is absolutely brilliant. You will be stuck to the TV. You won't be able to get away from it. It is amazing. Um, Brian Dennehy is in it. I don't know if you know that actor. He is absolutely brilliant. What was that? I just didn't like the judge giving him credit at his trial. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yes, Bundy. Yeah, yeah. He said, "Well, it's a shame. It's a shame that." What did he say? No, it's a shame. I would have liked him to see it in court, or something like that. And you went the wrong way. Yeah, I know. It is sad. It is sad when people have these sort of mental craziness sort of parts of their head, you know. And I suppose it's a compulsion. I don't think they can help it, but maybe if he had got help earlier on, those girls might have been alive today. So I think if we do catch these people, we kind of do need to study them. The judge said he made a good lawyer, maybe. Yeah, like, the thing was, I think he was studying law, and I think that the problem with Bundy was it was too much for him. I think he liked the idea of being a lawyer, and I think he liked the idea of the prestige, and he was going into politics as well, you know. And I think maybe he would have done very well in politics, and I'm kind of glad that he didn't go into politics. But that's where he was heading, you know. And he didn't pass his exams, as far as I remember. I'll have to double check that, but I don't think he passed any of his exams in law. I know he was studying it, and I think he left and he went back, and um, yeah. So I think he enjoyed the prestige and the idea of being a lawyer, and, you know, getting into politics more than actually being there. Hey Lisa, how you doing? He was a wannabe, really. He was, but Bundy was definitely a wannabe. He wanted the prestige of being this benevolent sort of guy, kind guy. You know, he's doing things for his community. He's, you know, helping people on the helplines. You know, which is, I still can't get over. You know, you could be phoning in, you know, with suicidal ideas and all that kind of stuff, and you get Bundy. Jesus Christ. I wonder. I would love to know. I really would love to know the people that he spoke to. I would. I'd love to know. And I wondered that, did the people that he spoke to know that they were actually talking to Ted Bundy? I wonder, did that ever come out? I would love to know that. He was pathetic, could be charming, but just a psycho. Yeah, he was absolutely. He could be very charming, and I suppose if you like that kind of guy, a lot of women were very attracted to him. I don't get it personally myself. It wouldn't be something that I would ever think would be attractive, but, you know, he had that charisma, I suppose. He had a huge charisma about him, and he did have a very sort of strong presence wherever he went. You know, he sort of, you knew when he came into the room, he sort of had that command. But yeah, he was a total nut job, you know. I would love to know. I know he was an absolute psychopath. He was a complete nut job, but it's just the way he went about, oh, those girls, all those poor girls, and going back to them, like returning to them and doing what he did was I can't sort of glue the two sides of him together, the benevolent guy, the lovely guy, the guy who's helping people who are suicidal, he's babysitting for his friends' kids, and all of these things, really helpful, really kind. And then, out with his little beetle and pretending that he's got a broken arm and can't, oh no, would you mind getting in and I'll push it in from this side. Yeah, it was very calculating, very cold, very cruel. Um, that was just evil. Oh yeah, it was absolutely evil. I can't I don't think he tortured them. I think he just kind of killed them quick and then did whatever he did with them. But I don't want to go into details. No, it's all manipulative behavior. No gloom required. Yeah, no, I absolutely, I agree with you. But he's literally like Jekyll and Hyde to me anyway, because I'm no psychologist. I did a course in it a long, long time ago, but I'm far from any psychologist or anything like that. But it fascinates me how somebody can be, a cold blooded killer, but yet help somebody through, depression on the Samaritan phone lines. I just find that absolutely bizarre, you know. And the fact that when he was arrested and he went, like, he escaped and he got away, he was away for so long. I mean, I think they were his last big kills, was the girls in the college, in what would you call them, the sorority houses. I think that, yeah, when he went in and he done what he done there, that was just horrible. That was just horrible. That last girl coming in and he was running out. Just thank God. I mean, it must have been an absolute nightmare for her to come in and find all her friends the way she did. I mean, that poor girl must have needed therapy for a very, very long time. And then I'm sure she must have felt some sort of guilt because she wasn't there, or that, oh, the problems and the things that these people cause, as you say, the collateral damage that happens after this. It's not just the action that he's done, it's the fallout from it, the parents, the friends, the family, and just horrible, 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 horrible. It was a bit because he's still the same kind. Maybe it was just the film they put in. Yeah, he was a monster, Lisa. And let me see, I'm going back. No, they're both the same side. Real, no. Yeah, I know. Was it because he had stolen the same kind of car? Maybe it was just the film they put him in. Um, he's a monster. Was it? I don't get that, Cass. Was it because he stole the same kind of car? Maybe. Was it just the film they put it in? Oh, actually, I don't know. I don't know. But if anybody's looking for a really good movie, and I know I'm jumping back and forth between serial killers, but John Wayne Gacy, this film, it's called To Catch a Killer. It is absolutely brilliant. Actually, I might watch it again this evening, because now, bearing in mind, it's a very long movie. It's about 3 hours, or maybe a bit more, or thereabouts. But you will not move. You will not move. I remember the first time I watched it, I couldn't get away from the TV, and the dinner wasn't cooked, nothing. It was a weekend, and I was just glued to it, and I was like, "Yep, no, sorry, you're just it tonight is dinner. Jump up." And they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Jump up and get it yourself. I'm stuck to this." Oh, sorry. No, you're grand. Um, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But the beetle thing will go down in history. That little yellow beetle he had. Oh, that just creeps me out. And didn't he have inside? He had taken the handle and things away from the passenger side. So even if you wanted to try and get out of the car, you couldn't. You couldn't roll down the window. You couldn't open the door. So he was so well organized, Ted Bundy, when he went out to do these things. It was just so terrifying, really. Um, yeah, and Ed Kemper, but there's so many of them in America that have been really publicized, but there's a lot more. There's so many more around the world that we could touch on and talk about. But I think people lose interest, or, if they never heard of them, or, that kind of thing. Like, I could go on about a murder in Russia and the things that happened over there, like actually eating people and stuff. I mean, you've no idea of how bad things are around the world, like Russia. Oh my God, really bad, really, really bad. And then yeah, oh God, yeah, in England they absolutely do. Yeah, I think obviously Jack the Ripper and Peter Sutcliffe and all of that, but I think Rose West, the Wests, I just, that really, that messed with my head. That was horrible. The Jigsaw Man. Oh God, yeah. What was that? Bind, torture, kill, BTK killer. Oh, I mean, there's so many of them. The Stranglers, the Hillside Stranglers. There's just the Green River Killer. There's so many of them. There's just so many of them. But the Wests, they were, they were cruel. They were really cruel. That I think they enjoyed doing what they did because they did it for so long. I you'd have to enjoy doing things like that. I couldn't make myself do something like that if I didn't want to do it. So I believe that they both enjoyed what they were doing. But that little girl, Heather, I think her name was, that they killed and buried her, and was it under the kitchen or something like that, or under the patio? Why is it always under the patio? It's always under the patio. It just boggles the mind. Oh, we'll just put her under the patio. Oh yeah, fine, why not? Yeah, sick nonsense. They absolutely were. And look, I know Rose didn't have the best of upbringings and all that kind of thing. And I know she was sexually abused, and I know she had a horrible time of it. But, you know, how do you do that to children? And how do you allow somebody to do that to you and your own children? And how do you then do it to your own children? Oh, sorry. Sorry, the horses are passing by, and they're like lunatics. So I just let them out and say hello to the horses. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Hey, COVIDs, how are you doing? They kept going. They raised that house to the ground. They absolutely did, and you know what? It needed to go. It really needed to go. What was Cassie saying? They kept going. If you misbehave, we'll do the same to you. Yeah, I know. Can you imagine saying that to your children? If you misbehave, the same thing will happen to you. I mean, I cannot imagine how his children are today, or their children. I know he had children before he met Rose, because wasn't she was there looking after the kids, and yeah, how do you do that to your own children? I know that they were very depraved and just horrible, horrible people. And I know when Fred killed himself in jail that she was trying to lump a lot of it on him, but she was there. She took part in all of it. I mean, and she delighted in it. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I think there was tapes, wasn't there? And she was laughing and things. It like really fucking disturbing. Wiccan, the dogs aren't that loud. I'm just saying it because I think you think that loud. Oh, really? Are you sure? Because when he starts, it's like a high pitched scream, and it literally could like burst your eardrums. So I just mute and go, oh shit, I'll just put them out. Anyway, yeah, the Wests were. I think people are going to really talk about them for a very long time because of how depraved they were. They really, really were depraved, abusing their own children, and just, oh, and there was one girl, no, not their children, but they had somebody in a live-in minder that actually escaped. For their own children, they would hire nannies and all that kind of thing, or if people were sort of young girls down in their luck running away from home or whatever in situations, say, oh yeah, come and stay in our house, you can look after the kids, yada yada yada. And like, what young girl wouldn't think that would be safe? A lovely couple, or so you think, with their own children. I mean, that alone would say to you, oh, I'd be safe there. You wouldn't think there would be any red flags. You just think, oh, this is a really nice family, and they're really kind and things like that. But Jesus Christ, that there was one woman, she was so lucky she got out. And there was nasty things happened to her in the house as well. And I do remember watching a documentary that she went back to where the house was. Thankfully now it's just a little grassway, or a walkway in between the houses. And yeah, I mean, her story alone is just awful, but thankfully she made it out and she escaped. This bloody thing, I can't. It was a sin for that woman, looking back on it. Yeah, I know. I mean, for any victims that have survived that kind of trauma, I yeah, I mean, I just think, my God, how amazing are they? How brave they are. Because I don't know if I'd be mentally that strong to survive it. But then again, you never know how strong you are until you're thrown into a situation that you just have to be. But yeah, I did see an interview with Fred and Rose's children there, not so long ago. I think I clicked on it. It was on YouTube. And they're just trying to get on with their lives. And I just, they had a huge amount of trauma in their life. They have a huge amount of trauma to try and get through on a daily basis. It's just, I mean, can you imagine knowing your sister is under the patio? She's dead and under the patio. That to me will never sit right in my head. Jesus Christ. I remember one woman saying Fred and Rose were driving along country road. They stopped to give her a lift. He felt funny about it, and when she walked away, she could see Rose gone mad at Fred. Oh, wow. 100% wicked people are stronger than they know. Yeah, I mean, when you're put into a situation, well, that's mad. People are fucking odd. Um, yeah, I mean, you never know how you're gonna react until you're thrown into that situation. I really feel it for the kids. And yes, they are adults now, and you know what? They're trying their best to make the best of their lives. But I mean, I cannot blame them for maybe being out. Maybe they're not able to work. Maybe their depression or whatever else is just too much, and I can completely understand that. They would have needed so much care and love and help after. I mean, I would call it rescued, after they were rescued from that house, because they didn't get it there. They certainly didn't get any love there. And I just find it really terrible. Just like the Moors murder. Oh God, yeah, that poor little boy. Every time, when you mention the Moors killings, every time I close my eyes, I see that little boy that the mother was always looking for, and she died, God love her, before they found his body. He's got little freckles and his glasses, and you can just see him, and it's just such a pity that they never found that poor little boy. You know, um, she denied. Oh, yeah, I know. I remember listening to them when they were above the house. Rose wasn't daft. She probably knew the police were listening. You know what? Probably did. Probably did. I think they knew they were sort of walking a tightrope, with the police and everything else, because I think the school had them flagged as well. The children were Teachers notice things, they would be doing certain things in class, and maybe the kids were like, oh no, I don't want to do that, whatever. But yeah, it's just terrible. I mean, why could she not have just told them where the body was? I mean, nothing more could happen to her. She was in prison. You know what I mean? That's one thing she could have done that would have saved a whole lot of, well, it would have given peace, wouldn't it? It would have put an end to the search for this poor little boy. I mean, his family are still looking for him, and I really do hope one day that he's found, for his family, and that they can just close the chapter on that end of their life, because it's always going to be open. it's they're always going to wonder where, how, why, and yeah, I mean, it's just got to be a hurt in your heart that you can't ever heal. And it's beyond me why they wouldn't tell where they buried him. Um, I remember Bam talking about it quite a bit, and I think she knew people or somebody connected to that little lad. And she made a very good point, as she always did when it came to true crime and things like that. But she was sensible, and so like we were talking about it before, and like, okay, so you parked the car. People saw where the car was parked, so they got out of the car. You had like going on people's timings when they saw the car and when it was gone or when it was still there, whatever. Like you can only go so far in that time limit, and bury something and then get back to the car. So, I would say a couple of minutes out from walking, looking around yeah, he has to be there somewhere. He's got to be there somewhere. It's just heartbreaking. I always pray to God that he's found, just for his family, that they can close the book, because I don't know how a mother would feel with your child is missing and never found. I could never, I don't think ever get my head around that. I think it would be completely devastating. And yeah, living with that would just be just profoundly nightmarish, before they found Pauline Reid, her mother, that Butch could have said to them, that monster. Yeah, she could have. Absolutely, she could have. Leslie Ann Downey. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. That poor little angel. Oh, my God. Lisa, that I heard that tape as well. I mean, I can't even think. I don't want to think about it because it was just horrendous. Before they found Pauline Reid, her mother would wait at the bus stop waiting for her to come home. Oh, God. It just, there's so many, the ripple effect, as I call it, or some people call it the butterfly effect, the ripple effect from, it's not just the killing of that person. It's the effect on the family, the friends. It's the ripple effect that it has on people, even communities. It's just a horrible, horrible, horrible thing to happen to any family. I'm going to drop the link. If any of you want to come up for a chat, please do. We're talking serial killers. Hey, Salty, how you doing, darling? We're talking serial killers. And no, I didn't get to see the end of what's his face, Ed Gein, and I don't think I'm going to. I might watch the last one, but I just cannot make myself watch it. I think it's just no, it's just I can't make myself watch it. Leslie and yeah, I'll never listen to. Oh God, yeah. Oh, don't. Yeah, I actually feel sick thinking about that. I never heard it, but I almost read the transcripts in a book. Oh God, no, you don't want to. You don't. If you can skip over that in the book, do. But you don't want to know, you don't want to hear it, because oh God, I just keep thinking, if that was my child, I would. How do you go to sleep at night knowing? I don't know if the parents or the family would have heard the tapes. I'm sure they. I don't know if the police would give them that or ask them, do they want to watch it or listen to it. I hope they didn't, for their own sakes, because that would be a hell to your mind. I don't think I'd ever close my eyes again. I wouldn't be able to. I mean, that those tapes were horrendous. Jesus Christ. I mean, I didn't. Obviously, they have not been released for good reason. Because I'm sure there's some sickos out there that would listen to those tapes in their entirety and get their jollies off. So I think the police did a really good thing. Never release the entirety of those cassettes, because nobody needs to hear it. And especially not the family. And I'm sure there's plenty of families still left belonging to that little girl. Whether it's aunties and uncles or whatever, nobody needs to hear those tapes. The people who did need to hear them heard them, and that was the police, and nobody else needs to hear them, I would imagine. But the piece of the tapes that they did allow the public to hear was enough for me, more than enough. And to be honest, I didn't even listen to all of it. When I just heard the first bit, I just went, no, 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 no. I can't listen to that. It would affect me. That would keep me up at least 2 or 3 nights. You know, it's so horrible. Um, Let me go back through chat. The tapes were played in court. Yeah, I know they were played in court. Oh God, it just gives me a fucking creeps. Oh yeah. Can you imagine having to sit through those tapes in court and listen to your daughter? I cannot imagine anything worse. I really can't. I can't imagine anything worse. They were just horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Hey JC, how you doing, darling? Only waking up? Oh, good woman. You slept in? Oh my God, sleeping in now. I don't know if I can allow that now, JC. They were Cassie. I've never heard it. I couldn't even read it. I put the book down. Yeah, it's horrendous. I did read the transcripts, and I got almost, I'd say halfway, little half up, maybe a little over halfway. No, I was sick, literally sick. Couldn't listen to or couldn't read anymore because I think it's worse when you're reading it because you're making up the pictures in your head. When I'm reading something, it's literally a movie in my head. I don't. That's the only way I can explain it. Like I see the pictures in my head. It's a whole movie happening in my head when I'm reading a book. I see everything in pictures, like, but yeah. So reading stuff like that, for me, is traumatizing. I just couldn't do it. Could not do it. Um, and what I did read, as you said, was just yeah, too much. I'm gonna drop the link. Is anybody wanting to come up for a chin wag? Um, actually, I wanted to ask, did anybody ever see that movie about John Wayne Gacy, To Catch a Killer? It's an old one now. It's an old movie. Jesus, I remember watching it, ooh, about 10 years ago, if not more. And I think it was sort of an old-ish movie then. I will picture you making that coffee. Jesus, cover up. I'm missing something here. Hang on, I'll go back. Wouldn't surprise me. The Hard Thing, Seven Tapes. Oh yeah. There, I never heard it. I couldn't even read it. Put the book down. Yeah, I know. It is. It's the stuff nightmares are made out. Basically, you know. It was horrifying. Cass. Oh, belly laughs. Betty turned left. I forgot all about that. Picture out that coffee. Cover up. Yeah. Okay. So I've read everybody's. I'm up to date. I'm at my fellas. So I want. Okay. No bother. No bother at all. I will definitely get you up, but because I know you love your true crime as well. But yeah. So I did start off with Ed Gain, but I think I'm gonna have to leave him. And maybe do somebody else because that Netflix thing is just I cannot make myself watch it. I just can't, and I've tried. I just nope. But JC, your live yesterday was brilliant. I was a bit late to the party because, as I said, I had all my gang here. And it was a lovely weekend, to be fair, but it was busy, you know, and the gang is here, I'm in and out, and we're in and out, and so yeah, I was late to the party, but I did listen to it, and the part that I was howling at, I mean, my husband's looking at me. He says, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "Sexualized tea bags," and he said, "I don't want to know." I said, "No, you don't." Like, how do you sexualize a tea bag? I mean, that to me was just one of the funniest things ever. Like, you know, sexualizing tea bags. Ooh, sexy tea bags. But yeah, that was funny. I hadn't seen that in a long time. I'd completely forgotten about it. And yeah, Lisa, you mentioned the lights. Oh yeah, that was creepy. I mean, I even said at the time, I mean, if somebody said he was a serial killer, I would have believed them. That was weird. Not sexualized tea bags. Yeah, I know. Of all the weirdest things in the world, you know, tea bags. I mean, if that's your kink, I suppose, whatever, you know, not hurting anybody, that's fine. uh, couple of my Teddy's coming in. His old Yorkshire tea. I forgot about that. Yeah, sexualized tea bags. Oh my god, that's going to go down that's going to go down in history. I think as one of the best things I think that ever came out of AJ. One of the funniest things. Well, it was to me anyway. I was fucking stitches laughing at it yesterday. I couldn't stop laughing. Um, yeah, I'm just sorry. The dogs are coming in now. Move over, good girl. So where am I? Teabag. Teabagging. Oh my god. God. Oh yeah, we let's just skip over that one. We won't mention teabags. Oh, let me see it. AD made it. It's not AI created. Let's be clear. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not AI. It's that was AD actually factually himself. So yeah, that was funny though. It was funny. But yeah, his eyes and but the one with the the lights, that was weird. That was really weird. Here's my salty girl. How are you doing?
Hi, I guess your settings that you have enabled on your StreamYard for some reason is saying that I have to enter via YouTube
Oh,
on this device, so hence the avatar. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
well, that must be a new thing because I signed in okay, but yeah, I mean they keep changing StreamYards and it's just a pain in the arse. I know there was one
Because I
time I was
used
trying
the
to sign
same thing last night on JC's. I used the same device, and I didn't. I think it's a settings maybe that you have
Oh,
on
I must
your
look into
show.
that. I'm sorry about that, darling. I'll look into that and
Oh,
see if I
no.
can change it. How are you?
It's not like you wouldn't recognize me. Oh, what am I? A book with some glasses. That's
Yes,
appropriate.
yes.
Or is that a book?
It is. I think it looks like a book. From here, it looks like a book.
Yes, that was fun last night. I never I chose, I think maybe mentally I just forgot about the Yorkshire tea thing, but it made me feel icky, but it was hilarious at the same time.
I think it was your brain's way of protecting you. You know what I mean? We'll just forget about the fact
I
that was
know.
there.
And there were so many moments that of videos that we made back in the day that a lot of us have forgotten about.
Yeah.
And I love what Tracy said is that, there was a time, and it's true, a lot of us, when we were making our content, a lot of it was tongue in cheek and a lot of it made it, we
Oh
laughed and
yeah.
we had all the good times. And it was good to get back to those good times and everybody really appreciated it. And I think,
Yeah.
the sentiment wasn't lost on anyone.
No. No, no. Like we've been on this bloody road for too long now, to be fair, it's been a long, dragged out affair. And it's nice to be able to go back and have a bit of a laugh and a giggle.
Absolutely, it is. And again, like I loved what Tracy said when you know, I and I don't want to change the subject or anything, but
No,
when
work
she
away,
said that
change it.
there's a
It's
lot
fine.
of stuff that people, one of the things I never mentioned is how many people got in touch with me privately,
Mm,
saying that they didn't want to come out and say anything. They would love to come into your chat, but there
yeah.
were people in here that they thought that, would be shitty to them.
Oh,
Or if they
okay.
said something in support of me or JC or whoever, and they disagreed with people, that they
Okay.
would be publicly attacked for it, and they didn't want to become targets.
Oh God.
So they wanted to know we got your support, but we choose to be quiet on it, and I get it. I get it because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
most people are just subs. They weren't
Yeah,
creators. They weren't creating the anti-AD content or speaking
yeah,
out,
yeah.
especially when it came to the case and Frank Rusak Jr. and all the hypocrisy of it all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Well,
I'm
I mean,
glad that when Tracy said that, she said when it's all over and done with, a nice long conversation will enlighten a lot of people.
yeah.
And I said, yeah, yeah, and that's I think it'll be necessary.
I think so.
Um, and I think we'll be seeing a whole lot more people that we haven't seen in a while in our chats moving forward.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
hope
true. That's the
so.
truth.
I hope
That's the
so.
truth.
And like I make people mods when they come in, so there's nobody above anybody, that way. So I keep it fair that way, so nobody can kind of kick anybody out or block anybody. So it's everybody's on the same even keel. And if it doesn't work, I mean, if things get nasty or crappy with people, like I just have to bar them, just kick them out. But that's why I was doing the mods for everybody, so everybody's on the same playing field, so nobody can get kicked out, unless I do it.
Mhm.
So like that's kind of sad to hear, but I hope people do come back. I hope people do come back in because
They
we're just
are,
going
and
to
they
have a
will.
laugh now.
That's why I said, as time
Yeah,
passes, I think your time here and in the
yeah,
United States, especially, is a little
sure.
fucky because, you're 6, 8, 9, 10
Oh yeah,
hours.
yeah.
But there are a lot of people that'll be coming into your chat now, a lot more.
Oh,
Especially if you do your live streams later, you would see a lot more people.
yeah,
Um, uh, uh, that's just, it's like yesterday. It was early for Jen for her to
sure.
do a live. And over
Yeah,
here, it was, that weird time, especially on a Sunday night. Nobody really
yeah,
watched. I'm
yeah,
surprised that we had, as many people watching as we did because it was such a weird time, both here and there.
yeah.
But I'm glad she did it. And and we did have some laughs. I
Oh, stop.
was it was fun and it was good to see
It
everybody. But yeah.
was. I was cracking up laughing here, especially sexualized tea bag. My husband saying, "What are you laughing at?" And I was like, "Sexualized tea bags." He said, "I don't want to know." I said, "No, you don't."
It was so weird because I had the laptop, right? And then I have my two devices.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, only on my I'll say my US phone can
Okay.
I chat in the chat. And I wanted to drop my email
Oh,
for a Welsh lady, right? I
yeah.
was trying to do it on a laptop. I was trying to do it on the UK device, and then I'm having to pull up the US device. I'm literally, that's why I said I have like all of these devices all
Oh,
around me
God.
right now on the bed. And it
Oh, God.
was, and I was like, get it. And then John came in and he was saying, drop the link. I said, get out of my home studio. You're ruining my internet. I'm trying to concentrate. And it was, I was getting confused. I was like, damn it. But yeah, we had a good time. And I said, we should make it like a weekly roundup of fuckery and what's happening in the case and what's not happening, what people are saying and what they're not saying,
Yeah.
just because.
Yeah. Oh, well,
But yeah,
actually, I,
definitely.
I, I did want to ask you because I mean, I was trying to listen back to the beginning, and to be honest with you, I think I missed it. The dogs were just doing my head in last night, and I missed it. What was the new thing that happened with AD? I know that's why she wanted to talk about it. What was the new
Yeah.
letter?
Yeah.
What was
No, there was an addendum made.
okay?
This is where I'm going to have to pull up my other device.
Oh, you can just briefly. You don't have to go into detail
Well,
because
no,
I leave
I
the
have to
detail to
praise
Jason.
myself of it. I haven't had, I
Okay.
woke up and then I was listening to one of my favorite my favorite podcasters release on Mondays and stuff. So I was
Oh, cool.
listening to their new one and I was like, oh, kind of like I'm
Nice.
just here basically. And then Jen was getting in touch with me about some stuff and Maddie too. There's some stuff going on with her. God
How's
love
my
her.
good?
She is actually, she's oh, it was about her registration for her new classes and the deadline was the 22nd. Just yeah, it was just yeah, trying to get everything together.
Yeah.
Um from the other day. We're already on the 24th and yeah. So just her
Oh, good.
classes and what's going up from now and then to March. So basically what happened was he is requesting it's an addendum to the Court of Appeal requesting security for costs, and that's for
Oh,
somebody who brings a case into the appeal courts. They can show that they can actually afford to be there, and if they
yes.
can't, the court can tell them to pay the money up front or fuck off,
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay.
It stops people from having these really long, aggressive lawsuits that are frivolous and that'll drag out. It has a tendency to drag out over the UK courts. So that doesn't happen so much in the US
Okay.
because there are certain safeguards in place, and that's why you have a lot of foreign people, not just residents of the United States, but other countries that will file lawsuits in the UK so they can drag it on. And
Okay.
there's never any mediation or anything like that. It's just paperwork and documentation, sometimes given, sometimes not. But in this case, um, it's obvious that financially, Frank Rusek Jr.'s case is just completely fallen apart. He hasn't had any crowd justice fund donations. The majority of it came from all of us back in 2021. in the beginning
Yeah.
of 2022. It's that simple.
Yeah.
JC, we did a live stream. It wasn't last one. I think it was the one before that. And she pulled out those malicious crowd justice fund donations made, like in your name, in
Yeah.
Bam's name,
Yeah.
in Cassius's name, etc. And at that time, and she made this video more than 2.5 years ago. At that time, his Crown Justice Fund was at 55, almost 56,000 pounds.
Wow.
2.5 years later, you're only at what I think she said 60. So
61.
that's maybe 61. So two and a
Yeah.
half years, you haven't even gotten 5,000. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fallen apart. He's not getting any. And then his lawyer says that he's showing up partially pro bono. So can he afford to keep the case going in any way, shape, or form? And they've already requested to formally requested, we're just going to go ahead and drop the exemplary damages.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they did that 4 days after the court. And keep this in mind,
Mm-hmm.
the court questioned their evidence, Frank Rusak's Jr.'s evidence.
Yeah.
And because there's such a lack of it, they withdrew the exemplary damages.
Mm.
The case is, I'm just kind of skimming over this, is it relies heavily on videos that they don't have, you know,
Yes.
community posts and videos again that no longer exist. They didn't even get transcriptions done. They have no actual transcriptions that were done by or requested, as far as we know, given to them by Google/YouTube, of the
Okay.
now completely deleted, because his channel was gone, all of his content was gone.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so it's
they've no way of getting what was said word for word, or so it's all just
not
hearsay.
officially, and they're not going to put up not officially. That's
No,
not to say that they haven't gone to Google, but they haven't presented any evidence
as of
at
yet.
all.
Yeah.
So I don't see it coming. I mean, in all this time, it's just it doesn't exist. They didn't bother. I think that from the very beginning, it was all about the money, and we saw that in the particulars of claim when they
Yeah.
were asking for the money and the revenue from the Watts AD's Watts content, the library of it. They wanted the past revenue, present and future revenue off of it.
Yeah.
So basically, if the court agrees to it, he'll have, and we're talking about Rusak Jr., he'll have 3 weeks or 21 days to lodge a sum of money. It's normally around 20,000 pounds into the court.
Okay.
So, and if he doesn't put that up front, the case stops. There's no remedies hearing. There's no court order. There's no injunction. There's nothing.
Okay.
So is it? I'm just again looking at that. Is it a new application? No, it's part of the application that AD already filed. He just
Okay.
added a clarification note. That's why I said it was just an addendum to it, which is
Okay.
standard practice in the Court of Appeal.
Sure.
So, and that's the thing, people seem to forget that they were never, I mean, whatever defense he had, it was never given to the court. The court never read it. Now that new judge, because there was another judge before this, so there's a new judge that has it, and they saw that, and he hasn't even been able to put on defense.
Right.
So if we're going to do this, then he has a right to do that. And
Cool.
so remember, I know it was on your live stream when I said, "What is this? Is hanging on by a thread," and it's
Yeah.
it's Yer Cohen's fucking. Oh, hi, Suki. It's Yer Cohen's ego, I think, at this point, because he can't say all this was for nothing. Shit, everything I've done at this point. What do we do? I mean,
Yeah.
so that's what. Yeah, put up or shut up. If the court grants security for cause, the claimant either finds the money or the case stops.
Right. Yeah, and what do you think what do you think the likelihood of that is? I mean, so for argument's sake, the 61 grand that was raised with the crowd justice, that's gone. That's all used up, is it? Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how much more would he be looking for, or is there? I look to see what the stretch target was. I haven't looked on it, and I don't know how long. I was just interested. How much more was it? How what favors? What little favor did he want? To
Maybe
how much?
that's why he got off Twitter long enough to come over here and make that post over on his YouTube channel, which he did not link the Crowd Justice Fund to,
That's weird.
which that to me it is strange, isn't it? Because you would think he would do that.
And you would think that as mum and dad would be like, oh, help us out, or, whatever they want to say in a post and share the link. I don't understand why they never really did that.
Uh,
It's just
I
odd.
know. Well, the whole thing is odd if you think about it.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, there's so many more oddities on top of it. But I it was when JC and I were talking the other day about it, and then no, when you messaged me yesterday, that's what I was telling you. It was like you told me that you were going live today, and I figured you were going to be talking about serial killers and stuff like that, and that you wanted
Well,
to cover maybe any new the new stuff. And then that's when JC was messaging me because she was off work yesterday and today, and she's like, "Hey,
oh,
I'm thinking about doing a really quick live stream, just going over the addendum that AD added, in the post that I put up." And I was like, "Well, what did you put up?" And that's what I was telling you. So I figured maybe you could talk about it today. I didn't know what you would be talking about exactly, but
well, I didn't really have anything in my head to talk about. You know me, I just come on and I waffle. I was talking about serial killers, a few different ones, but
so
at
I,
the
I
same
I
time,
was trying to listen, and then I met JC was messaging me, and then of course Maddie. Some stuff happened yesterday that I was just trying to catch up with her on, and or
sure.
follow up. And
Yeah.
that's why I said I'm kind of listening, but I'm dealing with real life stuff at the same time right now. So I'm sorry I couldn't be in chat. I wasn't
Oh,
like fully attentive.
don't sorry,
But
don't be.
I know JC is stepping out for coffee, and I told her to hit me back up when she gets back in, and that I'd be over here in the meantime. I heard you talking about Bundy. You know what, with Maddie, that's one of those things. She knows all the victims' names, the dates. I mean, everything. And it's just so weird sometimes when I listen to that girl.
Yeah,
It's
but
so weird.
but I do understand it. Like, I mean, years ago, I probably would have been the same. If I really dig into my brain, I'm sure I could find the names and dates and all this kind of thing. But I really kind of push all those things to a side, or else I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. That kind of way. I tried to bury it so I wouldn't be able to sleep. I mean, the things that he done was just so horrendous and
I
horrific.
know, and I didn't realize he went back and I told you I read that or listened to the audiobook about the Yorkshire Ripper, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that so many of them go back and revisit
Oh,
not
yeah.
just the scenes, but re-victimize the victims, let's say. And of course,
Yeah.
Bundy really did that a lot. And that's one thing that a lot of them seem to have had in common.
Mm,
And you had, I know you mentioned Gacy, and I think that's why he kept them all so close to him, so that way he could, like literally,
yeah.
I mean, not revisiting the scene of the crime. Essentially, they were there still with him. I think, oh my gosh. And I didn't
Yeah.
watch that old movie you were mentioning, but there's a new series that came out on Paramount
Oh,
and about Gacy. And I started watching it with John.
uh-huh.
And we got like 4 episodes in. So we have to finish that one up. And so far, that guy is, oh gosh, it's creepy how good he's playing him.
Who's
Oh,
playing?
wow.
Who
I
plays
can't
him?
remember the guy's name.
Oh,
I
don't
can't remember
worry.
the
I'll
guy's
I'll
name.
click on Paramount and I'll have a look. But the old movie, Brian Dennehy
Oh,
plays
yeah, he
John,
plays them.
and
Yep, yep, yep,
oh,
yep.
he looks so much like him. It's absolutely terrifying, and the way that the way that they went after Gacy actually changed how they went after serial killers and murderers in, I think, in Canada and America. It was fascinating watching how the police, they were getting tripped up by their own laws left, right, and center. You're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. So they came up with things that, put the pressure on him, follow him, let him, lose his mind, let him, he
Yeah.
can't do. Yeah, so it
Yeah,
was just,
they it showed that in that series. I'll come up with the name in a second, but I remember Maddie, she texted me because I sent her I came across the one on Hulu about the Murdoch case, and I sent her the trailer for it.
okay.
And then right after she had sent me the trailer a while back for Ed Gein, we knew it was coming out in October. And then I saw the one about Gacy and I sent it to her. She's like, "Oh shit, October is gonna be so fucking hot." And I was like, "Oh my god." She's a sick kid, man. Damn. But she said, "Have you started watching the Gacy thing yet?" And I said, "Not yet. We're going to." And I started watching it. And and I mean, just clear out of the blue. I said, "How many people do you kill?" I can't remember because I don't know,
Oh,
didn't know that much about him. She's like 33. I was like, what?
yeah, yeah. And
That
I think
many?
there was, yeah, and I think there was at least 7 bodies in the house or under the crawl space.
A
Because
majority of them were under there. I mean, they were like, we found another one, we found another one. And the
yeah,
process, and it's so eerie. In one of the episodes that I left off with, they had like those beams of cross beams on,
yeah,
just the skeleton, and just
yeah.
showing underneath it. It was an above
Oh, yeah,
shot when
yeah,
one of the detectives was leaving the house
yeah.
of his entire, underneath. It's not just this little tiny crawl space,
No,
but
no.
underneath it.
Yeah,
And I was like, holy shit.
yeah. It was.
And it was creepy as hell. And then he walks out, and on the outside it just looks like an ordinary house,
Yeah.
and it was really striking. I mean, that was a great way to end that episode. Now, the guy that plays that detective,
Oh, the
I
Polackies.
don't know if anybody watches or watched The Last of Us on HBO. But he plays the brother Tommy, that guy.
Oh,
He plays
oh.
he plays the lead detective.
In the movie that I watched about Gacy, Gacy, it seems, used to call that detective the Polak. Yeah, he
Well, I think he was Polish too. All of them, a lot of them were Polish or Polish Americans in
yeah.
those communities.
No, it's just
So,
addressed him. We never addressed him as anything but the Polak. Or maybe that
I,
was our license. I don't know. Um.
one of the themes that we spoke about was the issues with the mom, and Gacy had some major mommy issues.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh,
And we
God,
have
he was
Jen.
terrible.
We have Jen up. Jen is up. Hello, Jen. Can't hear you, honey.
Hello?
Ah, there you
Can
are.
you
We
hear me
hear you.
now?
I can hear
You're
you
such a
now.
stalker.
All
You're
right.
such a stalker.
I'm still waking up. Be kind. I am a stalker. Absolutely. I'm only waking up. I'm off today. So I love my Timmy's coffee, as Sam knows, it's across the street. I got out of
Mhm.
my ever so comfortable, fluffy penguin pajamas to go get a coffee. And the first thing I did is put my fluffy penguin pajamas right back on now that I'm home.
Yeah.
Is it snowing? Is
Oh,
it cold?
Cassius is Well, it snowed all day yesterday. It's not snowing now. Cassius is mad at you.
Oh,
Why? Well, it's a good thing that he didn't see what I wrote about in the private
Wiki,
chat. And
let
you
that
can't
heifer
see
up, but
it,
I'm
John.
for 20 minutes.
What, Jen?
There's going to
What
be
did you
fighting
say?
in the Cassius household. I said there's going to be fighting in the Cassius household. Am I loud enough? Do I need to turn my mic up?
no, you're grand. I think there's a slight delay, but you're fine. We can hear you.
Yeah, just check. Did you see what I just said to you, Jen?
Okay, well, that's good. I'll try to talk
Okay.
over anyone. I'll try.
No. What I wrote. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I don't want it to be about that. Oh, I haven't finished. Lisa says I haven't finished The Last of Us, but I love that show. Oh my gosh, Maddie, my daughter, loved it, and she got me to watch in the first one. And it was like, what was that Korean show? Oh,
Wait.
come on, Squid Games. Squid Games. Things that I was like, yeah, I'm not really into it. Well, I remember her watching them playing the game, The Last of Us, right?
Oh,
And then, so when the show came out, she was absolutely just entranced with it. I remember when it came out, but I didn't watch it with her. But then, gearing up for the second series, she
okay.
had me watch the first series with her.
Okay.
And then John started watching it, so we watched it again. So when season 2 came out, oh my God,
You were ready for it.
I was ready for it, but I was so upset because of
Oh.
Joel.
Oh, don't. No teasers. No, don't spill.
Well,
Don't spill.
everybody knows what happens. I mean, it's already done and dealt with. Everybody
It's
knew what was coming, but still, I mean, I literally, Lisa, I got a voice clip, Maddie crying. Oh my God. I mean,
no.
she was like that, sobbing.
Oh no.
I know, over a TV show, over a video game, no less. It was like, you knew this was coming. You knew it was going to happen,
I
you
know.
know?
Well, I tell you one thing I did cry over, and I feel thick for it now. I was watching what was that? Oh, The Walking Dead, yeah. When they killed Glenn. Oh no, I couldn't believe it. I cried my eyes out. And the poor Glenn, he was in it from the start. You know,
I
the
I
little
love that show.
uh,
I literally emotionally detached after that. I did.
yeah.
I watched every Sunday. That was my deal. That was my deal. And this is a funny story if I haven't told you because I keep bringing Maddie into it. I was at a case management meeting in the office at one of the hospice services that I was at the time. And I went and I had Maddie with me. And because it was, that's a good thing. You have the flexibility, but so I had her with me. Went and got her from because she had an early day. So I went and got her from school, and then I brought her back, and she was in the office. And our office manager, I love him, loved him. He came in, he's like, Sam. I was like, what is it? He said, is it okay if, because Maddie's in there and I haven't watched last night's episode of Walking Dead. Is it okay? Because, Maddie's in there and I'm not sure. It's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. He's like, my God, you're the coolest mom ever. I was like, I know. I know. So he just loved that. Walking Dead was our thing. Where did Jen go?
I have to say, we were the same. Myself and my friend. Um, yeah, my friend he got his bone marrow transplant. With myself and him, and another one of our friends, we were glued to it. Like we'd watch it at the same time, and then like we'd be WhatsApping each other, watching the
Mhm.
show. What do you think of this? Oh no, no, no! Don't kill him! Don't kill him! But just these shows, you just get so engrossed in them, and they were really good. I got a little bit disappointed with The Walking Dead, I will say. Got to a point where I was like, I don't know. Did anybody else feel that way?
Yeah, I did. And you know what? There was that time during lockdown where they did all those extra episodes.
Yeah,
So the last couple of seasons, it seemed like they were, I mean, because there were a lot of extra episodes.
yeah,
And I was kind of reluctant about Negan, and his character towards the
yeah.
end. And Maddie's like, just watch it, just watch it, just watch it, just finish watching it because she wanted me to watch the spin-offs
Oh,
about
okay,
Rick and Michonne. And I said, well, okay. So I started watching it again. And
okay,
I thought, okay, you know what? If I'm going to do it, then John's going to watch it too. So we started watching it again together. And then we literally get to like the absolute last final episodes of the season. And we
okay.
stopped watching it. But
Yeah,
so I didn't finish all of them. I'm try getting back up here, Jed.
yeah. Try and come back up, Jen. Yeah.
It
So
could be
that
your thing.
I hope it's not StreamYard's doing weird things again, because I know I had to do weird things to get up as well. I had to sign in and at Google and this, that, and the other. But it's grand. Once I'm in, I'm in. I hope that's not happening to everybody. I don't know why they keep doing things with StreamYard. I keep getting these pop-ups. Oh, do this and do that and new things, and I'm like, just leave it alone.
Well, with Lolisa, when it came to Squid Games, I remember when it first came out, and I was like, it's not something I could get into. But then when she said, just give it another try, I thought, okay, fine, I will. I will with you because she was so psyched because the break between season 1 and season 2 was so long, just like with The
It
Last
was.
of Us.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, okay, fine. I'm not going to watch season 2 if I don't watch season 1.
Well, yeah.
So, and then we really did get into it. And because it's on Netflix, it's one of those, you can see all the episodes at once. You don't have to wait. And there was a lot of twists and turns. And so we did get into it. And it was funny because Maddie on TikTok, they have those things where you can, it's that TikTok, the Squid Games
Oh, okay.
um, they take your
Like
face or when you take a
the
video of
film.
yourself and they overlay the Squid Games things on it, and
Yeah.
some of hers that she was sending to us were hilarious. And I had her do one or a couple of me and John, and I'm like, why do I look like this? I looked like the skeeziest noodle vendor, beat up. I don't know why I looked like a man. I don't know why she did that to me, but unfortunately, yeah. John looked pretty
Just
good, but I didn't. But
those filters are hilarious, though. They really are. Where else are they? They're only on TikTok, are they? I find them hilarious. There's some of them brilliant. My daughters, like, sometimes they'll whip out the phone. Come on, ma'am, we'll have a look at these. And I mean, they just crack me up. I think they're hilarious. I know. I was a man. She turned me into a man, and I got a fright because I thought it was my brother.
I made an avatar of myself that I used one time, and as soon as I pulled it up, I said I look just like my fucking brother, and I never used it again.
I thought I turned into my brother. I went, holy shit! And I had the what is it called, the 12 o'clock shadow or whatever it's called on my face. And I was horrified. And then I sent it to my brother, and I said, "Look, we're twins." And he was like, "Don't ever show me that again."
Oh my gosh. No, I did. I said I looked just like my brother, and I put it away and I never wanted to see it again. It was so
Yeah, no, that
weird.
creeped him out so much. He said, "No, that's scary
He's
that you
got,
do. You
you
look
know
so
what?
much."
His fucking typos. Okay, he's got the new fucking iPhone, and that is a lot bigger than the other iPhones, okay? So
Yeah,
you
but
would
it.
think that his typos would be non-existent, but I think the issue is that he just types so fast a majority of the
Oh,
time.
I
But
know.
it's like it's almost expected at this point for him to be making his typos.
Well, I'm
And
concerned if he didn't. I would be concerned about him if there was. I say, what the fuck is happening? Where's John? What have you done with him? Where is he gone?
I know it wouldn't be him if he didn't make his fucking typos.
I'd be
But
like,
you know what's funny is that whenever he would write me these wonderful love letters and messages, he never made any typos.
no, because he took the time. He was taking his time. That's different. It was an intention. He took the time. He wanted to be clear about what he was saying, but I
Exactly.
yeah, YouTube is different. I type. I have to say I'm guilty of that as well. I type at 20 miles an hour. Well, maybe that doesn't sound like very fast, but you know what I mean. I'd be typing really fast, and I'm like, oh, and then I read it back and go, oh, edit. Thank God for edit. That's all I can say. Is Jen back? She was up and she gone again.
She said that we were all robotic or something like that.
Oh
But I
no.
noticed that she was sometimes, she kind of comes in and out sometimes on our live streams, and I noticed that sometimes there's a lag, sometimes there's not. With
Yeah.
her, I know how she's set up in her apartment and her Wi-Fi.
That'd
Um,
be awful. Did they get that sorted in her building yet or no?
she did. But the way the building is set up, and she's on the I guess you would say first floor, but which is technically
Okay.
like the walk down.
Okay.
But her and her neighbor share the same, or they're on the same network. They don't, whatever. But it's at the end of the hall. I
Okay.
guess where she found that dying rat or whatever.
Okay. So it's patched.
So yeah, neither of them, from what I understand, has an actual like router in their home. It's not,
Okay.
something like that. So it's not even in her apartment.
Well, could they get a Wi-Fi extender? One of those little things that you can extend, like you can extend the length of the span of your Wi-Fi. You just get a Wi-Fi extender. You can plug it in and hook it up to your Wi-Fi, and it puts it out a bit further. That might be an
I'll
idea.
be glad that she got her shit sorted enough, to where she's
Oh
able
yeah.
to get back on again
Oh
and
yeah.
do the old live streams, to be honest with you, because
I
it seemed
miss.
like for so long.
I
I mean,
know. I've missed her.
she just couldn't do it.
I know. It
The
was so
dying
sad.
rat.
At the dying rat.
Uh,
Oh gee, I would have lost my shit if I had seen a dying rat. I'm sorry. I live in the countryside, but I don't like rats. I'm thankfully I never see them. But if there was one sitting on my doorstep, I'm sorry, I'd turn into a big girly as well. I think I would. I
I
do remember
wouldn't.
one time I went to the compost bin, and I went out and I nearly lost my life. There was a big, huge, fat rat in it, and he had died. He obviously got in and he couldn't get back out. I swear to God, I felt my soul leave my body. the, sc-
Aww.
the scream, I screamed, screamed, scrammed. The scream, I screamed. Oh my God.
Things like that don't bother me. Isn't that
Oh,
strange?
it's just
I'm
rats.
not bothered by rats or by mice or by roaches or by
I don't mind anything else.
spiders or
Yeah,
there
I
was
don't
these
mind.
spiders I had though that when we built the new house that they were the size of fucking they were huge and they jumped and they were these
Oh
weird
no.
jumping spiders and they
Oh
were
no.
really really big and not like your typical little tiny house spider. I mean, this was a huge ass fucking spider and those bothered me because they could jump and move so quick.
Oh no. No, no.
But
Why did they need
the
to
only
jump? Why did they
I
need to
know
jump? They have loads of
it's just
legs.
like
They're really fast.
cockroaches. Why do they need to fly? Some of them can't.
Oh,
I mean,
just stop. Yeah, no, I, I,
um,
I I have to add those big spiders and cockroaches to the list
we
of
have
things.
this system in our house that um the pest control would come around. I don't know how often they would come around, but essentially it was on the side panel on the outside of the house
Okay.
where they would inject this insecticide or
Oh,
whatever it was, and it went through all of there was little tubes that went through all of the house, so
oh,
it was like a continuous thing just to
yeah.
repel whatever
That's
beasties might come our way.
Yeah, I like we do in the summertime now. Certain times in the year, we'd get little voles. They're like little field mice. They're really tiny and they've got long little noses and they're really cute. I don't mind
Oh,
running around. Yeah, they're gorgeous. They're sweet little things. But unfortunately, my cats think they're great fun to play with and kill them. So myself and my husband spent I don't know how many days during the summer, weeks actually trying to save them. So I'm putting them back into the fields, but
oh.
cats were going straight back after them. Oh. Yeah, so I don't like that. I don't like cats for that. And they were killing all the birds as well. And yeah, but I mean, I do love
It's
my
human
cat.
nature, though.
I know it is nature. It's a circle of life. And I know my husband was giving out the cats for, yeah, stop eating the birds. I'm like, yeah, they're going to really listen to
I
that.
can
Yeah.
only imagine if Suki was able to go outside, the kind of things that she would bring me in as tribute. Because
Uh,
her new thing now is she gets whatever it is and starts this howl, and she has it in her mouth as
oh,
she brings it and she drops it to
oh,
me. And she was doing it all night long. I mean, we're talking up until like 4:30 in the morning.
oh, no.
She's dropping it, right next
Oh,
to me on the bed.
oh,
And I'm like,
lovely.
come on. So yeah, I can only imagine if she went outside the things that she would bring me in.
Oh, and did she want you to play with it and play with her? Or is it just look what I
Yeah,
found?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. But then there are times when she's found this fascination with my hair bands, and I keep them in a spot in the bathroom, so she has to get them out for me. So she'll go in there and she'll just,
here's your hair.
anywhere if I move, she's right there with me. Jen,
Oh,
did you see the video that I sent you? I wish I could share it on your right now, but I don't know if I can do it on my phone.
oh,
So
don't
funny.
worry about it. But
John's
she's,
mom, God bless her, she got me these fuzzy pink slippers and
oh,
I'll wear them, but then I don't wear them. But when I wear them, she attacks them and she rubs
yeah.
on them and she licks them and she wants to play with them. So I can't walk. I can't wear those now.
Oh,
And I showed Jen last night. I was in the kitchen when I was prepping dinner
uh-huh.
and I was showing her because I had them on as, a normal person would just wear their little fuzzy slippers and showing Jen why I can't wear the said I can stand still in them, but I can't
Yeah,
walk in them.
yeah, I know. My cats would do that as well. And if I take the
I'll
sweeping
have to
brush out,
send it to you.
yeah, I'll do. If I take the sweeping brush out, they do the same thing. Hoover, not so much because of the noise. And I have a steam mop, and they attack that as well. It's like, yeah, I'm like, good, yeah, you're doing a great job, but can you just let me finish my floor, please?
Lady, which either that or it's me getting Sam to type that for me. What? I'm not gonna type for you. I'll do
Did
a
I?
lot of things for you, but I'm not gonna type for you.
Hey, Lady Witch. Sorry, darling, I didn't see you coming in. Sorry to anybody who's coming in. I'm just trying to do a
Oh,
few.
I hear your pup.
Yeah, they want to go back out again, and oh, sorry, hang on.
Ooh, they're letting their displeasure be known about whatever. Don't know what that was about. But yeah, dogs are gonna be
Sorry, did
dogs.
Did I? What? What happened?
I said, I don't know what that was about, but dogs are going to be dogs. They're going to let their
Oh yeah,
displeasure
no,
be known.
yeah, no. The horses were passing by, and as soon as they see them, they just go do lolly, go out and say hello to them and play with them and run around their legs, and the
My
horses are
mom
just
used to say that
ignoring.
too, Lolly. She used to
Yeah,
say that.
but like the horses don't even blink an eyelash. They just keep doing their thing, and of course the dogs, they're like, "Yay, look at me, play with me, yay!" Jesus Christ. But yeah, at least they're good friends. They're not afraid of him, and
What
he's
kind
not
of
afraid.
dogs are they?
One is, I actually have my daughter's dog here at the moment with me. I have her on and off for a few months. She's a little cavalier, and she is a little dote. Oh,
Oh.
and she is the sweetest little thing. She's just so sweet. And then my little fella, because I said I didn't want any more animals with hairs. I've done it for years when my girls were small and at
Yeah.
home, and
Mm-hmm.
we had
Mm-hmm.
dogs and cats and canaries and birds. I mean, you name it. We had any kind of animal, and every kind of animal. We had it all.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we had sheep, little lambs at one stage, and we were out feeding the lambs with their bottles, and that was hilarious. But we did
Oh.
all of that, all the good stuff. And
Yeah.
now, because they'd moved out, they're gone, I could finally have a hair-free house, and I'm like, okay,
Yes.
that's it. If we're getting
Yep.
a dog, I want a dog that doesn't shed.
Uh-huh.
Because I have the shits of cleaning up hair. And so we got this little guy. He's a cross between a Bichon and a Cavalier, and they're called Yeah, he's just so sweet. Oh, he's just
Oh.
such a gentle nature. He's just
Mm-hmm.
so. And yeah, but his horse friends, he has to go out and say hello to them, or he'd lose his mind.
Mm-hmm. That is so sweet. That
Oh,
is so
he.
sweet.
Oh, I have to get
I love the fact that John wanted to get me that little kitten and everything, and I thought it was very sweet. But I
oh,
got
yeah.
to a point where, and I told Maddie this when I said, you can get when you have your own place and you have your, because she always wanted a puppy, she always wanted a dog, always wanted a dog, and I
Yeah.
said no. I just can't do it. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with the puppy, with my work, with Mike,
Yeah.
with all of her activities, everything. I just could not do it. And we
Yeah.
had Susie, and she was just a perfect cat.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I didn't want another cat. I really didn't. And I know at one point I was like, I just want a little thing just to snuggle with and just be soft. And he took that literally. But I didn't
Oh,
want to take it. I didn't want anything with eyes and a face that had to be fed or taken care of. And so I
yeah.
just that was my perspective. I really didn't want to. And but he got her, and she is the sweetest little thing. I wish she could be sweet. She could be sweeter, but she is a salty. She's a salty little shit.
She lives up to her name.
She really does.
Hey, YouTube.
But what?
I was just saying, sorry. Hey, YouTube lady, I just saw her coming in.
I'm gonna look up the name of that show because I want you to watch it. I want you to watch it on Gacy, so that way I can finish watching
Oh,
it.
yeah. No, definitely do, because he's another one that really fascinated me as well. Upstairs in the attic, he'd have this wooden crucifix thing, like fixed in place, and the handcuffs coming off it, and he'd handcuff them up there and do what he'd done, and then he'd drag them downstairs to the basement and just dig a hole, bury them, and then fill it in with concrete. But like he had a little hoard. He collected little things from each victim, and he had a little hoard. And but I think the thing that really got him in the end, which was brilliant, he had asked to the cops in that was tailing him to come in and have a coffee or have a beer or whatever. And the two cops were like, "What is that smell? Jesus, like this house is immaculate. Like you wouldn't see one thing out of place. There's not a scrap of dust, nothing, And it was just the smell from the air conditioning, but because it was coming from the base, but down underneath, like it was all coming up, the air from the bodies. So, yeah, then they were like, "I know what this smells like," and the other one's like, "Yeah, I know what it smells like," So
yeah, that's that scene in there because the two cops that had been tailing him.
Yeah,
he's like, "Well, just come on in and have a beer," and one of them went to the bathroom. He's like, "What the fuck?"
That's
I know
it.
what that is.
Yeah.
And okay, so it's called not to be confused, because apparently there was a either prior miniseries or documentary called John Wayne Gacy, Devil in Disguise. This is
Okay.
called Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy. It just came out.
Okay.
Peacock, actually, it says Peacock. I was wrong. I said Paramount.
Oh.
But I'm looking at we just watched it on we've been watching it on the Fire Stick or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Cool. Yeah. No.
so it
I'll.
just came out. It was released here.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Well, no, it says it was released on October 16th in the US. UK available. There's no official announcement for the UK release or platform, but if you have
VPN.
a Fire Stick
Oh.
or anything like that, you can watch it.
You see, my problem is I'm out in the sticks and I don't have broadband. We can't get it because, like, I'm one house on one lane.
I can guarantee you they have it on Look Movies. For that, you would need a VPN. If you have a VPN, look
Yeah.
for Look Movies. They have that one. It's on that, but it's I can't wait. We're gonna have to finish watching it
Yeah.
because
No,
I
I'll
think
find it. I'll find it. I'll find it.
it's really, really good. I'll find it for you and send you a link if you can look. And you don't
Oh,
need to
cool.
download Look Movies or anything like that. You can just watch
Yeah.
it. But it's so
Oh,
good so far. Who's in
yeah.
there?
My
Hi,
husband.
YouTube lady. How are you? Oh.
What's Cassie is saying? I bought a couple of those. It's like a wee metal clip that you attach to the side of the four. If not, Lisa will send you. Oh, what have we got here? What am I missing? I'm missing stuff. Those laser
Oh, well,
beam.
John said I was backstage with himself because he's like, "Are you going up? Are you going up?" I said, "I'm talking to John. I'm talking to Matt. I just need a second, please." And then he said, "Well, then I'll go up." And I said, "Well, then hold on." So I'm going to give John my phone so I can make another cup of coffee in 2 minutes. I didn't steal anything from you.
Fucking stole my phone.
Nobody can steal your
I was
thunder.
backstage for 20 minutes.
You were not backstage for 20 minutes.
I want half an hour I was listening to you.
Did you see him backstage for 20 minutes?
No,
swear
what
to
was that? You,
You're
Cassie?
lying.
know
Here you
who that
go.
I
I
would
didn't
have
know
just
who that was. It said the one and only or something on the thing, and I was like, I don't know who that is, so I
Hold
didn't
on.
let them. I didn't know it was you.
I came up to talk about Ted Bundy and all the other horrible
Good. Well,
serial
we'll go back.
killers.
We'll go back to Ted
No,
Bundy.
honestly, I swear, what I done was when I'm speaking to Sam, I says, "Oh, Wickens live." I says, "She's just dropped the link. Are you going up?" And I had clicked the link, so you did. Of course, you clearly never saw it, so you would have invited me up. But yeah, I was backstage, and then Jen come up, and I thought, "Okay, what am I? I'm no flavour of the month.
No,
That's for
no,
sure."
no, no. No,
Oh my God.
you know some of these other weirdos from that other side, shall we say? You know
Oh
the
shit! I wasn't under Cassius. Maybe
no,
that's what it was.
yeah, because I had a few of them on before. You know that they were doing the animal farm sounds and all of that kind of thing, and I just thought, oh, I'm not having this today. I'm not in the humor. I didn't know it was
Right.
you. You should have said it was
No,
you.
I know. I thought Cassius not. I, I deleted it. I couldn't think of the word there. I deleted it and I put the one, the only. So by the
Yeah.
time you got to the one, the only, you would have deleted. You would have thought, "What the fuck?" It would have run out of space. The Scottish Kraken, or call me
Oh no,
Scottish
I
Kraken.
didn't see that
The
bit.
Scottish Kraken. So you wouldn't have saw it on, or you would have saw it and no thought, because that's what I was. That's what I was going to ask you. I
Oh,
know you work with gold shit, and the
yeah.
other morning there, I don't know if I said, I said it in the chat, a couple of mornings ago, I
Uh-huh.
woke up
Yeah.
and it fell out the bed, on the wrong side of the bed, I fell out the bed, and I put my t-shirt on, and I pulled, for all the fucking years, I've had this chain on. It's like 54 fucking gram like gel. Somebody, I think Tix or somebody took the piss out of me. It's like they went to my Facebook page and were like that. Look at you, Del boy. And what I done was I ripped it off and it snapped off. Well, it was
Oh
about
no.
6 in the morning and I couldn't see shit. I'd
Oh.
I'd kicked over the cat's bowl of food.
Jesus.
So all the dry food went everywhere. And I'm looking for this very minute piece of gold that would
Oh.
have snapped my chain off my neck. It
Oh.
didn't. And what I was going to ask you last night, and it was late. I was going to say to you, what I could feel, what it was, see with the claspers,
Yeah.
that had, what had happened was that had bent. I think they
Oh.
changed, not that heavy, I didn't mean it like that. They changed that heavy bit, that the clasp had actually bent. You know, the wee, where you pull the
Yeah.
the wee bit in the spring, aye, and it cuts back in. That had bent. So I managed to bend it back, but I wasn't sure what what
To
carat
be
of gold
honest with
it was, and if it was going to, be brittle, bend it back forward, back forward, back forward.
Hold
So,
on, I just
Yeah.
have to say something. I gave you the phone
yes.
to go and do my ablutions and make my
Yes,
coffee.
right,
And I
like a
heard
child,
you.
you got
I
from my
heard
mother.
you say, "Oh, I wanted to say something about Ed Bundy," and I said, "No, it's Ed Bundy,
Ed
not
Bundy.
Ed Bundy that's married with children." And now I come back in the room and you're talking about your fucking chain.
Oh, Lord, man, it's okay. Will you do, darling? Love it. Ed
We're
Bundy.
talking shop. We're talking shop.
Married the kid.
Listen, I once I think a clasp has been compromised. You know, it's bent. The spring inside is going to be a little bit compromised as well, and you know, you run the risk of it happening again and you losing the chain.
Well, I
So
love box chains. I love
Yeah.
box chains because they will not bend, they will not break,
what it
they
was
will not.
no, Sam. What I done was when
I know what
took my
you did. I'm
t-shirt,
just saying,
Yeah.
but you know, I have most of my jewelry is scattered
So-
across the United States right now.
yeah, but that's what I was trying to say. When it's being compromised, so I'm not wanting it falling because it costs quite a lot of money. So I
Yeah.
don't want it falling off my neck. Usually it's tucked inside my t-shirt, and
yeah.
I think it was hanging out the other day there when I went into the shopping centre. And everybody was sort of looking at me. All right, Charlie. All right, Charlie. And by the way, that's why I was saying about Suki. I know I'm going through political posts here, different subjects. That's what I said about Suki when I was going to get her. I'm telling you, I'm going to do it behind her back. I'm going to phone up and I'm going to say, because I know the vet quite, she's very nice. She's a very nice vet. I'm going to say, listen, could I change Suki's name? Not Suki, Suki Gadji Scott. And people who don't name Gadji, it's an old gypsy said.
So
So Gadji, when they,
No,
all right,
no, no, no.
do you man the can?
if I come, no, let me
It's
tell you
like,
something. If I
do
come
you
back,
understand what I'm
listen,
saying?
if I when I come back, and
Why
you
are you towering over me? Why
listen,
you
listen to me, listen, Linda, listen,
Linda, Linda,
listen,
Why, Linda?
stop it, listen.
Right.
If I
Stop
come back,
talking like that.
when I come back,
Okay.
okay, when I come back, if
Okay, Mom.
her fucking name is changed at the vet, I'm gonna be so. You have no
So, you
idea.
sound like a little
You
Chinese
have
woman
no
like
idea.
For the
The
frame.
hell that you will pay.
that. On
You will
top of
not change her
Chinese woman.
name.
You look like the old fucking Chinese woman in Squid Games where Maddie done that. And I've got to send with the picture of Maddie. She looks so fucking cool. You know who she liked? The guy that was crazy. Who had all the pills and shit on his round his neck and the cross. And he would take them and he would fuck about with his life. It's some of the shit that I wouldn't watch. I wouldn't have never ever watched on Netflix that Maddie sort of said, and that I found absolutely
Black phone.
hilarious.
Was it black phone?
The Black Phone. Oh fuck, I liked that. And they made Black Phone 2.
Well,
I've
listen,
got it.
to get back to
Yeah.
your necklace, because that's important,
Yeah.
I would just replace the clasp, to be honest with you, and bring it into a jeweler's and just ask them to replace the clasp. I was hoping that it might have been just a little jump ring. You know, beside the clasp, it has a little circle sort of attached to the clasp, and then you've got another little hoop that goes into that's attached to the chain.
No.
Pretty much
The-
standard. It's pretty much standard with all chains. I'd have to have a picture of a show to point out and show you the bits I'm talking about. They're all
Yeah.
tiny little components that just come slightly off the catch, off the
I was
latch.
going to send you a picture here, but
Yeah.
the bit where the clasp clicks into,
Mhm.
that's literally, it's the one of, it's no, it's me not being a jeweler, it's one of the, it's the first sort of design I've saw like that, and it's
Sure.
quite, each link's quite heavy, but that's heavy. I had another chain, and it was actually nice. It sort of gave that glitter effect. But
Mhm.
I don't know why I changed it. So I maybe actually until I get up to the jewelers because it'll take me. Honestly, me talking to you right now, it'll take me about a
Mhm.
month to do. Um,
It won't, because I'm going to bug the shit out of you until you do it. But listen, do me a favor. Don't wear that outside because
You know what?
it could
I
I
was
come.
just trying
I
to
left my
whisper.
watch here.
I
I
was
left
just
my
trying to
watch here for
whisper
him.
that.
Stop it. I left my watch here and he said he was going to have it cleaned
For a long
and he
time.
never got it cleaned.
You know what I was trying to
No,
whisper
it
here?
had battery. That's all I asked.
Leave
I
it
just
If I
said,
didn't
I'll
tell you,
hunt him.
he said, no, leave it here. I'll have a battery put in. And he still hasn't fucking put a battery in.
Samantha, I was going to get that done nicely and especially for you for Christmas, and now you've just
That's not a
ruined it.
Christmas gift. Just put a battery in a fucking watch.
It need you wanted it clean, damn it. Now fucking we're airing or washing on social media. People's recording this shit and listen to it. You know she was covering my mouth there while she was talking.
He won't stop talking.
You know what she said? I'll never go to the cinema with you, John. I will never, ever go to the cinema. I says, I'll duct tape duct tape my mouth. I promise. I says, but you know me, I take a wee Stanley knife alongside.
Hey, Brian, how's it going? Good to see you. Well, listen, we're going to go
Oh,
back to serial killers.
aye, please do.
But listen, do get that clasp looked at by a
I
jeweler.
will,
Bring
I
it
will.
to the jeweler. And I'm going to hunt you until you get these things done. You know that, don't you?
Oh, well, definitely, because the chain,
Yeah, I'm
I'd
going to
be
hunt you.
devastated. Well, if
Yeah,
I
because
lost it, I think the
yeah,
three big sort of decent chains I've got, that is one of them. I think it's the heaviest and the dearest one. So I
yeah.
will definitely get it. She was clicking her
Right, hang on.
fingers here. Trying to go back.
We're going
Right,
to go back.
okay.
We're going to go back to Ted Bundy now because you wanted to tell me something about Bundy. I like talking about him. What was it you were going to tell me about Bundy?
Who, me?
Yeah, remember you
He
wanted
said
to
he was
talk about Bundy.
Oh, that's, I forgot about that 5 minutes ago. No, what I found intriguing was the way, what you were talking about earlier, the way he fixed the car door, even down to the, what I was going to say first, what I should have said it first there. What, all right, slow down, John, calm down, take a breath. So, what I was going to say at first, even when he looked over that Volkswagen, he
Mm,
looked over it, and it was for the way where he could handcuff them to
yeah,
where he could sort of, when he could fix the door, and it was weird because as Sam said, I thought it was no strange in a bad way, well, strange in a weird way that Maddie knew so much about him, and when they
Strange.
knew, I'm sorry, Sam, but when they knew, um,
It's like that
what's his
one
name with the
victim.
glasses? What's his? Is that? What's that? Him with the glasses? The big glasses. The
Like
blonde
that's
hair.
supposed to tell me anything.
The fucking blonde hair with the big glasses. Serial killer.
Like that's supposed to tell me
The
anything.
last film was just made. Jack Dahmer. When Dahmer
oh,
came,
okay, yeah.
Maddie could. Maddie could tell me so much, and it was like she idolized him, and I was thinking,
No,
what the
stop! Don't
fuck?
say that.
I
It makes it
don't.
sound weird.
I know it sounds weird. I don't mean
No, I
idolize her,
mean
but
she just
she knew everything about
she
him, and I
retains
thought.
information the same
Maybe
way I do.
idolize was
You
the
know,
wrong
Yeah.
fucking word.
I
But
don't
very
return
wrong
my
word. Idolize
and
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Shell pistol.
Glad you do
So
it,
anyway,
Jeffrey.
so changing the subject quickly. So for the handcuffs down to
You don't have to hold the
co-ed, down to
Right.
co-ed, putting the
What?
lipsol in the door so they couldn't open the door, the car door.
Yeah,
So all these sneaky fuckers
Just put the phone down here.
are just weird. They're just strange. They're not
but
Stop
I
forcing them.
I find it fascinating that a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them have, issues with their mother. I do
Oh,
a lot of that kind of repetition that a lot of them have some sort of an issue like with their mother, mommy problem. Either their mommy's boys or they didn't get enough
Casey.
love
That's what I
from
said
mommy.
with Casey. That's what I learned. He did too.
Yeah,
That was another one.
yeah.
Big
A lot
cool.
of, but again, when you kind of go back through their history, growing up and all that, a lot of them had head injuries. A lot of them had like frontal lobe, and I think is it left part of the brain that they had in, like they'd fallen and had concussions and bad ones when they were kids. And I'm often wondering, would that have anything to do with what shaped them to be the killers that they were?
Oh,
Do you
well,
think
I'd have to
that's-
know which ones you're
Do
talking
you think
about.
that's why that Mary Soto, him that murdered that kid,
No.
do you think that's why his parents are trying to come out with he was hit by a
Car when he was
and it
little,
reversed
and that
and-
might explain why he was, abusing this child since the age of 16
Oh,
until
God.
he killed her when she turned 13.
Sick
No, that was just an excuse. I don't know. I think that there's a link between violence and traumatic brain injuries, especially sustained over a period of time. You see that with a lot of
Sure.
professional wrestlers and football players in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. When I was thinking about one thing that I found interesting about Ted Bundy, when you're talking about when he was mentioning his car and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
part of his process was, because each of these killers, they have their quote
Oh,
unquote kill kit, right?
yeah.
Right. And he was very specific about his, but part of his process was getting a new one and making another kill kit each time. So that was part of his
Yeah.
process, getting each
Yeah.
item every single time,
Yeah. He got off on
rather
that.
than yeah, he did. And
Mhm.
I don't know of any other one that did that.
What was the name won't come to me now. You know, the guy that he had like a van done out in like just a torture van. It was like, oh, it was just horrendous. I think it was not a van maybe, but in a truck, or it was somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And he would bring these girls to this place, like, and the things that he wouldn't do to them. Was it something box killer or the Thai box? I can't remember.
Something like that.
I'll
But
have
I
to
just
look.
found it interesting because it's like with what's his name? They're doing Crime Weekly is doing a series on him right now. BTK. His
Oh, yeah.
his kill kit was right there in his hallway closet or his bedroom closet in a bowling ball bag, right? For years. And nobody
Yeah.
ever even thought to open it and look at it, even though he didn't bowl, right? I
Oh,
mean,
God.
everything with the map. But with people, they usually have that set kit. But with Bundy, he would get each individual item every
Did
single
he
time.
dispose of it every time?
Every time he would dispose of everything, and then he would amass a new one because again, that was part of his process.
But when you look at BTK, but like him being whatever, like a park ranger or
Mhm.
whatever it was,
Yeah,
and so many jobs, I'd say he was one of the normalest looking serial killers there has
I
ever
always
been.
get him and Gary
And do you know
Ridgway
what I've
confused.
got? Well, Gary Ridgway's him with the little beady eyes.
Yeah,
They tried him for, and I so respect the two guys that started. I don't know if they started the BAU, but there were two really important, controversial, two really important guys who started the BAU. They did start it,
Mhm.
all the body language and shit.
Mhm.
But with BTK, he just came over as this nice family man that just,
Yeah.
and he was sadistic as hell.
Oh, yeah.
The drawings that
Well,
he
he-
would do, the way that he wanted to tie the
he
women up.
he
and
shows
it's
how
fucking weird.
it's like because he stopped for such a long time, right?
That's what I was saying.
And then so did Rex Heuermann, even though he hasn't gone on trial yet. They have all these victims and
You
then they
lied to
seemingly
me.
stop, and that's because they have families and they have lives that are going on, and they can't continue their crimes, but then they do later on. They
Yeah.
pick back up again. He was one of those that did that. And
Yeah.
Maddie, she made me laugh because she said how stupid he was, and I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, he was talking to the police in these classified ads, and then he asked them, "If I send you a floppy disk, you can't trace me down or anything like that, right?" And they're like, "Oh no, we can't, absolutely not."
Oh,
So
God.
in his interrogation, one of the first things he says is, "Why'd you lie to me?
Why did you
Why'd
lie
you
to
lie?
me?
How'd you
You said you couldn't
trace
taste
my floppy disk?"
floppy disk. And it came back to
He was really hurt. He's like, "Why'd you lie to me?"
Yeah, because he came back to the church.
He
that
came back
was-
to the church where
Yeah.
he was
remember
one of
that.
the associate pastors.
Now,
where he
see
did that.
him, what got me with him, Wiccan, was the
Yeah.
way and he did get off on it, the way
they all
he
do.
spoke about his crimes in the minute detail that
Yeah.
he spoke about them in court.
Mm.
And he loved that. And it was
He's
just,
getting
I
off
don't
on
know
that.
why it was allowed.
Yeah.
It was
His
off.
daughter, there's on Netflix, if you have Netflix and you haven't seen it already,
Yeah.
his daughter, they did a documentary with her recently that came out. I watched that.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. It was really good.
I've got weird feelings about that girl, and not in a, I suppose not in a bad way, but it's like she wants to be in the FBI or something, and I don't think, I
No,
don't
they
know
came
what
to her.
when.
No. They came to her and asked her to help them open up her father to see if he'll confess to any more crimes, because there were a lot more crimes that they thought could be attributed to him, but he
And
wouldn't have, you know. So
yeah,
they used her as a means of communication.
yeah,
And there
no,
were a lot of crimes that were taking place, and she has memories of going places with her father. So she's
oh,
worked with him in tying things together, and that's part
right,
of that
Who was the
documentary.
funny? It was that wee beady eye little shit. What? How they caught him?
Green River Killer.
The Green River Killer
yeah,
was
Gary
because
Ridgway.
with the paint, was it with the speckles of paint? Now, sorry, shit. What did you say there about the?
What, the FBI?
Yeah, it was something we were talking. Sorry, I've lost.
Well, with Gary
concentration.
Ridgway, they went to Ted Bundy and they were asking him, "What do you think about him?" And,
But
give
weren't
us
those
ideas
two
about this.
operating around the same time, Gary Ridgway and Bundy? The both of them were operating in around the same time, and I think the both of them were operating in around the
Well,
same kind
Bundy
of areas.
was trying to buy time on death row by saying, "I can help.
Oh yeah,
Bundy
I'll
was
give up
like
more
that,
victims, and I'll do this." And then
yeah,
they did go to him. They were going to different serial killers and asking them what they think about the ones that were still operating and Gary Ridgway was one of them. So they went to Bundy and said, "What do you think about this guy?"
Did
yeah.
you want to put a
Yeah.
lead as well? Co-ed killer.
Yeah,
And
they
like,
went to Ed Kemper. They always go to Ed Kemper. They would ask
yeah,
him, questions about, read the file. What do you think about this guy? This one, this one, this one.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it was. Sorry, just quick. Sorry, Wickens, just to, sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry.
That's what it was. I'm sure he took his kid to one of his when he
he
killed
did. That's
Croft.
right, Gary Ridgway. He even said
Yeah.
he was going to kill his son. He was going to kill
Oh,
his kid.
God.
Right.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
he looks really normal. He looks like an ordinary Joe Soap everyday guy.
Not
He's
to me. He looks creepy as fuck.
No, he
To
does.
me, he
no,
does.
He,
But I
look-
mean,
if his beady wee eyes,
Ugh.
he looks like a normal
But like, if
Joe.
you were walking
Blow.
past him on the street, you wouldn't get any, you know what I mean? Unless you were really looking at him. Like, his eyes freak me out, in fairness. Like, if you really look at his face, yeah, I mean, there is something there. But like, if you were just
He
an
like a
ordinary Joe
plumber or
Soap
something.
passing by him
No,
in the
it's strange.
street, you wouldn't pick him up. Like, you just wouldn't point him out as, being
Well,
a.
I guess none of them, you
He's
wouldn't think
pretty
any
good.
of them would be like that. I mean,
Mm.
you look at these guys and they all look just, well, I mean, except for Ramirez, let's
He's
be honest.
breaking
Ramirez
cars.
looked like
Oh,
a fucking
Ramirez! Oh
fool.
my God, he
Yeah.
walked. Every time I think about, he walked back into the hotel. The famous hotel. Oh, what's it called? The famous
Cecil?
hotel.
Was it Cecil?
Yes, the Cecil Hotel. He was staying there. He walked into that hotel, buck ass naked, covered in blood, and went straight up to his room, and nobody batted an eyelid, and nobody said anything.
But I'm not being funny. It's something about Americans. Maybe it's not Americans. Maybe it's just the side of the country that, like, somebody can walk about covered in blood.
I think maybe, and also wasn't that like during the punk rock scene and I mean, you had people like
Oh,
Sid Vicious
possibly,
going up
yeah.
on stage and cutting his fucking, chest,
Yeah, razor blade.
yeah, with the razor blade. So, and
Yeah.
plus, at the Cecil Hotel, you have all those artists, quote unquote. And, I mean, who knows?
That's
But
fake.
you know what? We were watching something. I was watching that about the Netflix things on Ramirez, came out a couple of years ago. And during that period of time, there were like 8 other serial killers operating in the LA area during that period of
So
time.
that's what I keep saying now. So how many serial killers are operating right now?
Not as
that have
many as we
started
think.
to
I don't think.
But that's
Because there's
the
just too
for-
you can get
for
there's so
one or
many
two.
you get caught too easy now. There's cameras
for
everywhere.
one
There's
or two,
DNA.
Yeah, but
all
one
of
or
it.
two to be getting even one or two to be get lifted to be going out and getting a working girl lifted. It's still this video cameras, but until one of them are literally someone that's not run away from home, someone that's got family that care about them, that are going to report them missing. These people, you're talking about 2 or 3.
But you're
at a time.
I don't
Why
know.
anyone
We're
given
not
time.
hearing about a series of murders that have or fit the same MO that's happening
They wouldn't let that.
right now.
But
If
they
there's a
wouldn't let that out.
bullshit. I mean, look at that poor girl on the bus that was killed.
Oh God.
I mean, that shit. I mean, you hear about these crimes. I mean, it's of course, if there's especially a series of it. I mean, look at If anybody hasn't heard about the Lady Bird Lake murders up in Austin, Texas, they are finding a huge, I mean, there is just bodies
yeah.
being pulled out of Lady Bird Lake
Who's
left and
that?
right.
Who's
Okay.
that old
What?
bastard?
So,
What has gone on?
don't interrupt.
What,
Huh?
what's the story with that one where they're pulling the bodies out of that lake salty? Because
That
I don't
and
think
see,
I've heard.
I was very nearby that because of course it's in Central Texas. I mean, it
Sure.
seemed like they're constantly pulling bodies out of Lady Bird Lake. And a lot of these people in Austin PD is really dropping the ball and saying, oh, well, they were probably drunk and walking and they fell down. Because it's not like a lake as we know it. It's it's actually a river that feeds to a larger river.
Okay.
So, but the way it was built and the
Right.
subdivisions in the city around it,
Yeah.
and it became this big recreational area. And Lady Bird Johnson, who was the wife of, she was the first lady, she was the wife of Lyndon Baines Johnson. She gave and donated a lot of money to this, and they named it after her. But
Oh,
there have been so many instances of people being assaulted and thrown down into these canals that feed into Lady Bird Lake, and
okay.
people are surviving. People, they remember going, and it's very near a place. It's called 6th Street in Austin. It's where all the
Okay.
bars are. It's a college town. You have the University of Texas at Austin. Go Longhorns, Hook 'em Horns up there. So, but you have these stories of these people going, I was at this bar, I was at this place, I was talking to this guy, and the guy always fits the same MO, the same, looks the same,
Yeah.
same age, same look, same everything. And
Wow.
then, I started feeling weird. So, they're thinking, and then I wake up and assaulted in, down in the canals that feed into Lady Bird Lake.
Yeah.
So I really believe that there is somebody that's doing that. I really do. And I can't believe more people don't talk about it but again, Austin PD saying, oh, it was just an accident, or, they were just getting mugged, or they just got too drunk and, were, slipped and fell.
And like this probably sounds terrible, but the conditions of the bodies that they're finding, would it be possible to do postmortems on them to find out how they died? Like, are they?
Yes, and none of them are dying by drowning. None of them it's not accidental deaths. We're talking about major head trauma. We're
Wow.
talking, blunt force trauma to a
Right. Okay.
majority of them. There was a
Yes.
guy that went down there for a bachelor party. He was coming from out of town.
Okay.
And they find him dead, in Lady Bird Lake. And he
Oh,
has massive blunt force trauma. But they're saying, no, he just, they caught him on camera. They're saying that he fell, that he was over the railing, and that he probably just, lost his footing. He was intoxicated and he fell. And that's what really, I mean, and it's so obvious that that's not the case. So yes, I believe that in Austin or in the Hill Country, there absolutely is a serial killer working right
yeah.
now. I mean, I don't even know what the body count is now, but the MOs are all the same. It's fucking weird. It's just
when you
fucking
talk about
weird.
surveillance cameras,
And how many
you go
bodies
back
have they
to
pulled out of there? How many bodies have they pulled out of there so far? Do you know?
Oh God, dozens.
Dozens.
Yes.
Do-
I get
Holy
it. Some of them, yes, some of them could have been accidents, a legit accident. Some of them
Yeah,
absolutely could.
sure, yeah.
And you do have canals that feed into the lake itself. And there's a lot of boating down there. I've been up there myself countless times. But we're, when there's no evidence of drowning and you have nothing but blunt force trauma
Yeah.
and obvious assault and stuff like that, just it's a dumping ground for somebody. So
Wow. So somebody's been in operation for quite a long time.
yep. And then they're saying it's not just, at this point, maybe it's not even just one person, it's also copycats, and they're doing the same thing. So, I
And
mean,
is there any way to, was there any way to like age the bodies, I suppose, in the water? I don't know if you can do that.
yeah, especially when you have people that have reported missing. A lot of them, these people have been reported missing. And that's why I brought this up, because John said, there are loved ones out there. Yes, exactly. You have loved ones. And there was a girl, she was a professional cyclist. Can't remember her name. And she was in Austin for a race, and her bike, which was modified specifically for her, worth $12,000, right?
God.
She was still there. They were at an Airbnb. She was there with two of her friends, because the race was over and they were leaving like the next day or the day after that. They come back to this Airbnb. She's not there, but they pull her body out of Lady Bird Lake.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean,
The last they saw her, she was going out for a jog or whatever it was. Well, they were like, she's missing. She's missing. It was all over the news. And then her body was pulled out of the lake. So, you have these people that obviously they're reported missing and their bodies are being pulled out of that goddamn place.
wow.
So
I can't believe they.
it kind of broke out on me. Where'd she go, John? Where'd she go?
I don't know. Looking on the table. Can I see anything?
Where'd you go, Regan?
Did you see? I found Sicky's.
Oh, you're there.
Thingy.
Oh, there she is.
Ah, you're back. You're like Jen.
Oh,
Huh?
did I?
There you are.
Sorry, I was feeding the cats when I go in the kitchen. Sometimes it goes off. But yeah, so I don't understand how there's no more people are talking about this. I mean, this is insane.
People are talking about it, but I think that more people should. And if you look online, you can find all kinds of stuff about it. But this has been going on for years now. And I think at this point, there's more than one person that's doing it. But I can't believe that Austin PD and Parks and Recreation there and I know the residents nearby are demanding more surveillance, cameras around. And it is a larger body of water, again, that feeds into the river.
Mm.
So, but yeah, something. I mean, there has to be more done. I mean, it's just
That's terrifying to
sad.
think. Yeah, terrifying to think. And then what's the deal with this other guy? What was the name of that beach? I don't know. It was a peculiar name of the beach. He's a big, huge guy. He was an architect.
Rex Heuermann.
Oh
Yes,
my God,
that's
was
it.
a good
That's
topic.
it.
I
Is that the
mentioned
guy
him.
with the long
I mentioned him, the
distance?
Long Island serial
I was
Long
just
Island
going to say
serial
that.
killer.
Mm.
That one, he stopped, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But then he started again. And the reason
Yeah.
why he stopped, why? Because he had children and
Yeah.
he was married. And
Yeah.
then look, because he was so meticulous in what he, in record keeping and all of that,
Mhm.
his murders or the disappearances of these girls coincided with when his wife and children were out of town.
Yeah.
That is the one that was going to
Yeah.
say about
The
video
architect.
about video cameras and things.
Yeah, they had him on video going into a hotel. There was a girl. You want to talk about running into a hotel? One of the victims was caught on camera. She was on surveillance footage. She was running to get away from this guy, and she ran into a hotel begging them for help.
Right.
And she obviously they thought, well, she's a working girl and she's probably high or she's drunk or she's whatever. And they're telling her to get the hell out. And so she runs out and she's running down the street. And, that was just one of his victims, that had managed to get away and she was begging for help. And
Gee.
unfortunately, she didn't get it.
That's so sad.
It is sad. I can't wait for his trial. Can't wait.
Who?
And
Yeah, what is happening
Rex
with his
Heuermann.
trial? That's what I wanted to ask you. Is there anything happening with his trial? I haven't seen anything on YouTube about him in quite a while.
Well, I saw something recently because another victim has been attributed to him. And I said, we're going to see. There's no way, because at first they were saying that the victims along that stretch of beach in Long Island, right?
Yeah.
That they weren't attributed to the same person. I thought, really? Okay, well, I can guarantee you that more are going to be attributed to him. And sure enough, they have been more and more and more. Because at first it was 1, then it was 2, then it was 3. Now it's 4, 5, 6.
He's an 82-year-old.
No, he's not. He's in his 60s. He's the big tall architect, John.
You want to see he's a
guy that was
bit of a man.
Oh, that's the Sacramento State, the Golden
Yeah.
State Killer.
No, this
So
guy.
Rex Heuermann, his trial, it should be coming up pretty soon. I think
Okay.
there was an issue securing more evidence from his home, his
Right.
wife.
Loads there, yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. It was his wife's DNA actually that they found on some of the tape. And that's how they were able to match it up, and they got that hit and matching some of it up with his, and that's why they got the pizza. And they were able to get the DNA off the pizza and they were able to catch him. But he was one. This is what I find so fascinating about him.
He's
Okay.
terrifying. He
He
freaks.
absolutely is.
He's terrifying
Oh,
looking.
he is. He really is. But you know what
Yeah.
I find absolutely fascinating is that he himself, over the years, because there have been countless documentaries about the Long Island serial killer. There have been
Okay.
countless books written about this Long Island serial killer. He was actively watching these documentaries and reading these books and taking exceptional glee in it at the same time, you know,
Yeah.
because he went uncaught for so damn long.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I find that to me, I'm like, gosh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, just
No.
years passing. We're not talking about months and you're reading about your crimes in the papers or whatever. I mean, just documentary after documentary and book after book. I mean, the FBI profilers coming out and, you know,
Mm.
talking in these documentaries about him. I mean, and you know, he's not a stupid guy. I mean, he's an
No, he's
educated guy.
a really intelligent guy. Highly
Yeah,
intelligent. No.
highly. So he
Yeah.
would have taken great delight in that, I think, as the years passed and watching more and more people and him really thinking that he was getting away with. I mean, he was
Oh
getting
yeah,
away with it
it
before.
was. Yeah.
So I think that'll be interesting, and I wonder how that'll come up in his trial. I remember when the arrest affidavit came out, and I got it off of Scribed because I wanted to know exactly, you know,
Sure.
what they had because I thought there's no way they're only counting two of those victims. I mean,
Oh, there has to
there's
be more attributed
yeah,
to him.
because there were so many bodies found along that stretch of
Yeah.
beat,
The last
and
I 6. The last count I heard was 6. Now I don't know if
well,
they've found more since. They may have, but I don't know.
oh
But
gosh, no, there's like 12 or I think 12 to 15 bodies along that stretch, but as of right now, it's at least I can't answer you right now, honey.
wow, that's scary.
Can't answer
That
right now. Just I'll talk to you. I'll call you back in just a minute. But yes, but I think they charged him with 6 now, 5 or 6, because it
wow.
keeps going up.
It does. Yeah, it does. There's, you know what? There's just so many. Isn't it sad to think that there's so many of them that have ended so many people's lives just to get a kick? You know?
And ultimately, at the end, it's like you can get away with it for so long, but with technology and everything now, there was I don't know if you're familiar with this, and I remember this because it took place up in Austin,
Okay.
and it was very nearby me, and I was very close in age to the victims. They were the yogurt shop murders,
Oh no, I never heard.
and four teenage girls worked at I can't believe it's yogurt shop up in Austin,
Okay.
and they were high school, and as I was at the time, and all 4 girls, the building was burnt, but you know, obviously
Yeah.
the girls were murdered, and that crime went unsolved for decades. And a few weeks ago, or maybe about a month and a half ago, they came out and announced they did find the killer. He's dead,
Right.
but with DNA and genealogy, DNA and everything, they were able to find who did it. So finally, the families have closure.
Thank God for
See,
that.
yeah, and it happened in 91, I believe, in 1991, if memory serves correctly. And I thought, holy shit, you know, because I remember that so vividly because I remember they're my age. I'm like, God, you know, and
Well, especially if you're around the same age group and you live nearby,
yeah,
that is
yeah,
enough to sort of play on your mind. Absolutely.
because it was
Okay.
so sad. I mean, anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's sad. It's really sad. Especially, I mean, any murder is horrible, but I think it just it's far more devastating when it's children. You know.
Well, I mean, you know, there's always hope for me. I always hope. I don't want to die without knowing what, you know, who killed my brother.
Oh yeah.
And that I always, when I see these happen, it's like the cold case solved after so many years, you know, not a mass murder, not by a serial killer, but you know, there
Mm.
was, and I see it all the time on like EWU or Crime Scene or, you know, just interrogations and things. These people that are like, hey, we've pulled your DNA, you know, from, there was one, it was a truck driver that killed somebody in 1985,
Yeah.
1984, was a store cashier, stabbed to death early morning, and they caught the guy, you know, just like last year. And I'm like, by DNA, you know, I mean, just who knows? Who
The
knows?
big thing is fantastic. And like, did the police have any suspicions on who may have done that to your brother?
They won't. This is the thing. And this is what's so infuriating to me. They will not release any information. because they still consider it an open case, but they won't release any information to the family. They wouldn't to my parents. They wouldn't to my grandfather, who was a retired CIA. They
Right.
wouldn't. And my grandfather, after he retired, he
Uh-huh.
was sheriff up in, I'm not going to say where,
Yeah, of
but up
course.
in the hill country, and it was outside of Austin.
Mhm.
And he was acting sheriff at the time, and they wouldn't share any information.
Oh,
And at that time, and then later on, trying to revisit it, and he was angry till the day he died about that.
I don't
And
blame.
but even now, I mean, I ask for crime scene photos, I ask for anything, and they will not release anything to me. So other than the official, we can't share it because it's still an open case. I get nothing. And I remember contacting them, and I told John just a couple of weeks ago, actually, I said, I'm going to contact them again
Yeah.
because I'll do it every, you know, I don't want to say, you know, it used to be, I, especially when my parents were still alive. And then when my mother was still alive,
God
I
love her.
was
Yeah.
doing it at least once a year, you know, and I was like, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it at least, you know, I'll
Mhm.
do it once every couple of months.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And something, especially since my parents have passed away. And I, Maddie, you know, maybe
Bless
that's
her.
what sparked her interest in it because there was a murder so close in the family
Yeah. Yeah.
and not being solved and having so many questions. But
Yeah.
when I talked to her about it, you know, maybe, like I said, maybe that's what sparked her interest. I don't know, but
Probably.
I would like to think that I told her this. I said, you know, when my mother passed away shortly after that, and I said, you know, at least now I know, you know, at least my parents know now. They both
Sure.
know what happened. They
Yeah.
both know what happened.
Yeah.
And
All
they're not
together.
struggling with that. Yeah, they're not struggling with that. Close to tears. But it's frustrating and it's fucking, it makes me so angry to know that whoever did that, the people that were responsible are still out there, you know.
Oh, I'm
That
so sorry.
that that it's
I'm.
just like you know, just they got to live their life every day.
I know. I'm so sorry that you went through that and
But
you're through that and still
but
going through because you've had no
but
resolution.
but yeah, just no resolution to it. But I would like to hope and think that, you know, there might be.
Yeah. Hopefully now, I mean, everything is, you know, science and all the techniques that they use have come on leaps
Mhm.
and bounds. I mean, every year there's something new and something better. And, you know, I would hold on to hope, you know, definitely, I'm sure. I mean, isn't there a separate part of the police in America that do cold cases and like really old cases that haven't been solved?
Yeah, because and I saw that there's a unit of
Mm,
retired agents and stuff that work on cold cases and I was Maddie, she's getting on different sites and looking for more avenues in that regard, not just
yeah,
the San Antonio Police Department or
yeah,
Comal County Sheriff's Office, but
yeah.
also not just their cold case squad, but also those that work nationally and seeing if maybe somebody might be able to, because there's just too many things. I mean, there was a guy in the car with my brother, for fuck's sake.
There was,
So yeah, there was somebody in the car with my brother. So, I mean, they
oh,
know exactly who did it. Where
yeah,
is that guy?
yeah,
You know, I mean, there's a lot.
yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, it's not just with I mean, where is that guy? You know, what was
Exactly.
his statement? I want to know
Who
what he
was?
said. I want to
Where is?
know, you know?
Yeah. Who is
Yeah.
he? Where is he? And why was he in
Yep.
the car? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And so there's yeah, maybe one day we'll talk about it more, but um
Oh,
it's
you know,
getting dark already. I can't stand it. It gets dark so early now and it makes me feel like
I
I need
know.
to go to bed.
I know. I know. That's the downside of living on this side of the pond, my love. It does get dark about 4 o'clock, and yeah. But you know what? It's kind of cozy because you can light your fire and pull your curtains and snuggle up on the sofa, and you know, there's that side of it is enjoyable as well.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, so I am going to love you and leave you and
Absolutely.
call my call my
Oh,
girl here.
yeah,
But
yeah. Give her a shout. And tell her I said hi, won't you?
of course I will.
Good,
Of
good,
course I
good.
will. Okay,
Uh,
well thanks for having me and the Scottish Kraken up for a little while, Wicked.
Always lovely to have the pair of you up. You're coming. You're a 2-for-1 special.
3 for 1 if you get Jen, then it's a party.
Oh, it's a party. Love it.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I will talk to you and I will chat with you later. And you know what? I'm gonna get that video to you. Y'all will just love it.
Do. I'm gonna have a look on here now for the other case that I have to do. You know, that guy that murdered his wife and all that. Oh no, is it the one with the sons? You forgot to send me the link on that one. The Murdoch case. I'm gonna have a look and see about that one.
Oh yes, the final episode came out. It was so good. Oh my
Don't tell me, because I didn't even look into it when it was on YouTube. So I'm gonna do a dive into it now. So I will be able to chat to you about it.
Oh, good. That's going to be so much fun because I know that there are people that were into that case as well. I want to talk about that show if anybody's watched it. But yes, we'll definitely. But I'll talk to you in a little while, and I love you, and I will just be in touch. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a lovely afternoon waffling to the whole lot of you. But you know what? I've just realised I'm bloody freezing. I had all the windows and the doors open because it was the first day we had no rain in ages. And now I'm freezing. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and coming up. Thanks to Jen and Salty as always, and Cass as always, and everybody for popping in. I'm sorry if I missed anybody in chat. I find it difficult to talk and kind of go through everything in chat as well at the same time. So if I missed anybody coming in, I'm sorry about that. Hello, and we'll catch you next time. Lots of love, and we'll see you soon. Mwah. Good luck. Bye.